Is it sane? Is it possible? Still I ask myself, are we our game? It's not logical, but you contemplate, are we am I?
Oh, we're going to do this again, aren't we? We're going to do this again. Guys, it's the first time that Florida and Toronto have met since May. And we all remember how Game 7 went. And you know what's amazing is that both teams have looked just so pitiful this year. It's a race to the basement between Toronto and Florida. And I just got to say, I did not think that we would be in this position, but I don't think anybody's worried about Florida. Florida, who, by the way, are second last in the conference. Toronto are last. You know, listen, we got to be the best at something. And so we're better than Florida at that. Both have 25 points. The problem is Toronto's played one more game than Florida. Almost identical records, too. Florida, 12-11-1. Toronto, 11-11-3. Goal differential, -2 for Florida, -4 for Toronto. And by the way, I chalked that up to a couple of Caden Primo starts. Let's be honest, he wasn't great. Florida does not have a lineup that looks a whole lot like the team that we played in Game 7 last year, or last season. Marchand, Lundell, Reinhart is the top line. Marchand's been on a tear. If you haven't bet an anytime goal on Bally Bet for Brad Marchand, come on. AJ Greer, Sam Bennett, and Mackie Samoskevich. Noah Gregor, former Leaf. Evan Rodriguez and Jesper Broquist. I guess Evan Rodriguez technically counts as a former Leaf. He was non-tendered. Luke Kunin, Jason Studnicka, who was called up today, and Jack Devine round out the Florida forwards. Leafs are going with basically the same lineup as the other night, which I think is good. The team looked really good there. Nyes, Matthews, Domi, Cowan, Tavares, Nylander, Joshua Waugh, McMahon, Lorentz, Lawton, and Robertson. And on the Florida D, Forsling, Ekblad, Mikola Seth Jones, Balanskis, and Jeff Petrie. So, yeah, that's a little bit more like Florida. Toronto, well, Morgan Riley, Oliver Ekman-Larsson, been a great pairing. Oliver Ekman-Larsson, by the way, tonight is going for 10 straight games with at least a point. We'll see if he can get it. He's currently tied for second longest in franchise history by a defenseman. McCabe Stetcher. Look at Troy Stetcher being picked up on waivers and becoming a factor. Simon Benoit is back. He had a family issue. I believe he flew to a funeral. And then Philip Myers rounds out the top six. And people aren't thrilled about it. But the reality is that if you play Mermis, that means Simon Benoit's got to play his opposite side, which is not great. So Myers is in there purely via handedness. It certainly can't be because he's played well to this point. But you know what? There's always time to turn it around. And we are off to the races here. Florida Panthers win the draw. Wylde behind the net to grab it as they dump it in. And here we go. Gripper Nation, let's go. By the way, I'm going to cough from time to time tonight. I'm struggling a little bit with a cold. I'm not going to lie. And damn, it's kicking my butt. Cool man Lanny, chat, are we ready to cook? I hope so, Lanny. I hope we're not giving up a goal in the first 20 seconds like we almost did last game. Or not last game. Last stream for me, that would be 2 games ago for the Toronto Maple Leafs versus the Washington Capitals. I want to see a couple of things tonight from the Leafs. I would not be shocked if they got outshot. That just seems to be the way that they're going to play under Craig Berube. What I would be thrilled to see is strong offensive zone pressure. How do we get the Toronto Maple Leafs to sustain an offensive zone thing where it's like, oh, it's undeniable. Oh, they get called on a bit of a questionable icing there. That's what we want. You know what I mean? Nylander, Tavares, and Easton Cowan's out there. By the way, Nylander already has 32 points on the season. It is kind of hard to believe. Happy December, everybody. We haven't done a stream in December yet. I'm not going to be doing Thursday night stream, by the way. Normally I would be, but I've got to go to Kitchener to do an event with friend of the show, Rick Westhead, as the Leafs ice the puck again. You remember how we had him on the show, and he's doing We Breed Lions, that book. Well, we're going to do a full 1-hour talk at the Kitchener Public Library on Thursday. You can get your tickets, and it's going to be great. I can't wait. Love Rick, and this book, man, I'm just listening to it for a second time on audiobook, and it is just spectacular. Really, really compelling stuff. So we'll see you in Kitchener, hopefully. We're a minute in. William Nylander with the puck at the red zone, or at the red zone, the red line. The red zone would be football. Morgan Riley dumps the puck in. Leafs looking for a third icing in the row here. I feel like that's what they should do. Nick Waugh just shifted on, so we're on to the third line. Samoskevich to Forsling. Puck out front. Florida creating. Hey, Leafs clear the rebound. That's a good sign. We like seeing that. Come on. Randy said, what was that about Kitchener? I will be at the Kitchener Public Library, 7 o'clock Thursday, with Rick Westhead talking about his new book. We're doing a full sit down and chat. Leif Olmstead, Adam, have you been annoyed with the Steelers' offense? Man, welcome to my life. Steelers' offense is just painful. It's just brutal. But, you know, it might just be time for it to be time. Do you know what I'm saying? It might be bye-bye Tomlin time. And no disrespect to Mike Tomlin. He's been great. I'm just reloading the chat here so I can see all of your lovely faces. 18-12 left in the first. Kind of a quiet start here. You know, it's interesting. Scott Lawton said before the game, he's like, they hate us, we hate them, and that's a good thing. I wondered kind of to myself, how many of the Leafs actually hate the Panthers? Because there's a bunch of guys who weren't here last year. There's a lot of new guys, and they give the puck up, big play, and the Florida Panthers, oh no, they didn't score. How did that not go in? It must have been right off of the goal. I swear that went in. Balanskins basically broke in, had Joseph Wall beat, and somehow his hands went up. He didn't score. I can't wait to see the replay on that. Are they going to have to review that? Like, how did that not go in? By the way, thank you to everybody prodding everybody else to hit the like button. We like when you hit the like. We appreciate you when you hit the like. We appreciate you otherwise too, just so you know. Oliver Ekman-Larsson, former Panther, looking for his 10th point in 10 games. Well, 10. He's had more points than that. By the way, I'm really grateful to him. My fantasy team. He's been amazing. Brett says, I regret that I have but one like to give. You know what, Brett? We will appreciate the one like you did give. We do appreciate you. $16:45 left in the first period. Not the craziest start, except for that Balanskins situation. Max Domi, on a pass from Austin Matthews, tries to get through to the Florida zone. It's been a Leafs problem all season long. He's just unable to get pucks deep, create offensive zone pressure for sustained periods of time. We're hoping with all the talent injected back in the lineup that they're going to make it happen. Now, I don't know if you guys saw the news today. Brandon Carlo had to fly back to Toronto. He had been practicing, and it looks like he's going to have to give what Berube said is he's going to have something done, which means surgery, and we still don't know what it was that was an issue. We think it was something to do with a foot. I don't know if it's a broken bone. I don't know if it's stitches. I don't know what it is. But the Leafs are traditionally untrustworthy when it comes to injury updates. But when Craig Berube says he's going to miss a while, well, I believe him. Oh, shot deflected right past Joseph Wall, but just barely. Anthony Stolarz, by the way, no timeline for him as well. Berube said he'll be a ways away. I don't know what that means, man. I don't know what that means. Heather says, hello, SDPN fans and crew, sending virtual love and luck. Thank you, Heather. We appreciate you. Francois Labelle, crap. Ottawa scored late in the first to go 2-1 versus the Habs. Go, Habs, go. Yeah, listen, I hope both teams destroy each other. Is that a fair take as a Leaf fan? Are we good with that? I hope both teams have a miserable time. I'm sure they're putting on an entertaining game. But I hope both teams come away hurt and injured and willing to trade their best players to the Leafs. That's how I hope tonight goes for them. Joe says OEL can't hate the Panthers, Adam. Well, no, he can't. He did win a cup there. Revived his career there. Oh, wow. So they just showed the Balanskins play, and boy, McCabe just saved a goal there. He had to take two swipes at that for it not to cross the goal line, but he managed to do it. Stetcher and McCabe out there again. It's the Waugh, Joshua, and McMahon line. I need to see Dakota Joshua throw some body, man. This is the Florida Panthers. This is why we got you. Teams like this. Stetcher at the point. Shot in. Scores! Troy Stetcher. I don't even know if that was redirected. Troy Stetcher just floats one in, and it beats. And that, by the way, that's the first shot of the game, I'm pretty sure. The Leafs have scored on their first shot a lot this year. I don't know how that beat Bobrovsky. So really great offensive zone pressure here, like we've been talking about from the third line. Stetcher just cycles across, and is that tipped by Nick Waugh, or does that just go straight in? I think that's a Waugh goal. Yeah, I think Nick Waugh that was a good redirection too. When you see it from the top angle, you can see the puck really goes off to the side. Great tip. Excellent work. First shot, first goal. Meme Empress. It feels weird calling this game the Atlantic Toilet Bowl match, but it is what it is. It 100% is. And listen, they're either fighting for the top of the division or the bottom of it. Either way, they're fighting. Leafs, Panthers, can't miss it. Experience Toronto Maple Leafs toilet hockey. I wonder if our friend Kat the Cats fan is going to join us tonight. Giggling Cat. She loves coming in. 14:09 left in the first period. Leafs being outshot 3-1, but outscoring the Panthers. Listen, if it's got to be efficient, then that's what it's got to be. I believe they scored on their first or second shot against Pittsburgh, too. They've been pretty good about scoring early. The issue for them is maintaining leads. LOL Cobra says it must be called the Atlantic Poupe Bowl. So it is okay. So I'm not wrong. Julian said it's the third straight game the Leafs have scored on their first shot. I thought that was happening a lot lately. Nice from Matthews. Out to Oliver Ekman-Larsson. Shot in, turned away by Bobrovsky, and the rebound was almost grabbed by a spinning Matthew Nyes. He falls down. Marchand and Reinhart make their way back. Play against Wylde, just a soft shot by Marchand. No tip on that. He turns that aside. Forsling from the point. That is tipped wide. Marchand, who's been dangerous all season, almost gets a rebound. Marchand against Oliver Ekman-Larsson on the boards. Matthews collects. Gets it to Domi. Domi fighting along the boards in the Leafs end. Domi to Matthews. Matthews gets the puck up. Finds Matthew Nyes with a great play. Matthew Nyes, unbelievable deke. And he is by himself in the Florida zone as the Leafs change. You'll have to excuse the coughs. They're just going to happen today. I'm doing my best, but the throat is sore. Oh, what a save by Joseph Wall on the blocker side. Leafs clear. AJ Greer to collect. G. Andrew says, do an STP live at the Rainforest Cafe in the mall across the street from the Panthers Arena. You know, I've never been to the Panthers Arena. I didn't know there was a mall across the street. I guess it makes sense. And the fact that they actually have a real live Rainforest Cafe, I can't remember. I think my mom took us to the Rainforest Cafe at Yorkdale Mall for one of my birthdays when I was a kid. And this is how great my mom was. She took like 14, 12-year-olds. And we went and saw, I think, The Matrix. Am I dating myself? That used to be like a young person thing to say. Now I'm 37. So, you know. We went and saw The Matrix at the Rainforest Cafe, and I think it was every 15 minutes, the lights would dim and the rain would happen, and you'd hear the animals going, whatever. Is the Rainforest Cafe in Sunrise, Florida the same? Do they still have the rain effect? That's what I want to know. Maddie, are we able to update the time with the game? Is that working? Okay, we are in sync. Let's go. We're in sync, says Maddie. By the way, Jesse got his cable here at SDPN, so I don't have to use an app anymore. You just use cable. It's so much better. Maddie's so pumped about it too. Amo Jalapeno says YouTube recap today. SDPN was my top 2 channel. Does YouTube do a recap? I didn't know that. Ian says the handlebars must have helped with your immune system, Adam. Yeah. It's funny. December hits and it's like instantly sick. The weird thing is, last week had this weird gastro thing. I'm not going to get into too much detail there. And then it just like converted into a cold. So I'm not really sure if I got stomach flu and then a cold, or if I just got like one thing that decided you're going to be sick to your stomach first. And then we're going upstairs to the penthouse and we're going to make your nose and your throat suck for a few days. I don't know. Life is better when you're not sick. Do you guys ever get so sick, like the flu or something like that, where you go, I don't know what it feels like to be healthy, when you're being super dramatic? Leafs score again! What a play, and it's the third line. Bobby McMahon to Dakota Joshua, who puts a great move on Bobrovsky, and the Leafs with 2 shots on net and 2 goals. What? That is crazy. That's crazy. Dakota Joshua gets scratched against the Capitals on Friday, comes back, scores, I think, the fourth or fifth goal against the Penguins on Saturday, and has scored the second goal here. That is how you respond to a coach. That is how, like, they were having that argument. I think it was Jennifer Botterill and, Kevin Bieksa on Hockey Night in Canada about whether scratchings work. I think scratchings work sometimes. I think sometimes you got to scratch, and it looks like Robertson getting into it right now with Luke Kunin. All right. Okay. All right. Let's hate each other. Nick Robertson, baby. Let's go. A lot of people are saying Bob is not playing well. You have to remember, Bob was not playing well going into the 2023 playoffs either. He wasn't even the starting goalie. And what happened? All the way to the finals is what happened. 3 straight years. I think Bob will be fine. I know he's 37. He will be fine until he tells us otherwise. OEL with a nice shot, and it hits Bob right in the chest. I think Steven Lorentz was going for a tip there, just didn't get there in time. 11:51, the Leafs actually, their first 2 shots went in, which is a miracle. And honestly, it's been a pretty okay game for them so far, if you're just tuning in. Yeah. Okay, so the one thing I got to say is the Leafs' third line really, especially last year, lacked an identity. I think the best line that they were able to put together for them was like Domi, Robertson, McMahon. And it's nice to see now the makings of what could potentially be a pretty good line with Waugh, Joshua, and McMahon. And one of the things I think you need on that line is McMahon's speed. He's got to keep his feet moving because, Waugh is not the fastest skater. Joshua is not the fastest skater. If they are moving, they're going to need a guy who's got like blazing speed. And I feel like McMahon still surprises people, because he's a guy making like $1.1 million. What do you mean he can blow by most defensemen in the league? But he can. Reinhart over out front. Marchand had Joseph Wall beat, but was not able to get that shot away. This first line for the Panthers, still pretty dangerous. It's crazy with Tkachuk and Barkov out. Amazing how dangerous the Panthers can still be. And I know that they haven't had the best start to the season. Believe me, I know. But there's a reason why people are panicking about the Leafs and they're not panicking about the Panthers. I think people believe the Panthers. They believe in the Panthers. Leafs, I'm not so sure they believe in them. Not yet. By the way, I wanted to do a shout out. JBear84 YouTube recap is SDPN #1 watch. Thanks for great coverage. Love from a VGK fan. Well, thank you so much for watching. We're honored. You know what's cool about doing this is that every single time I talk to people when we do live events or, I get messages from people, like there are people, Tampa Bay Lightning fans who live in Tampa who consistently message me and been like, you were wrong about the Lightning. Look how sick we are. And I was wrong about the Lightning, and they are sick right now. And I was worried that they wouldn't be sick. I'm sick. But what's cool about that is someone in Tampa is listening to our show. I feel really cool about that. We're very, very lucky to have you guys from all over the place. And so many Americans that tune into, and I just think that's really cool. So third line here, out again, or at least Joshua is. Easton Cowan, William Nylander, and John Tavares have not had a lot going in this game. Nylander just basically tried to get the puck out, kind of a weak shot to the point, backhand, going to create a scoring chance here. Cowan able to corral, and Joseph Wall is going to cover that up. Justin Fisher, excuse me, guys. Justin Fisher wants to know from the 8 ball, are the Leafs all the way back? You know what? It's a good time to ask that question when they're up 2-0 in a game. We've never had anything go wrong in the last week when they've been up 2-0 in a game. All right, here we go. Oh, Justin. Are the Leafs decidedly all the way back? Well, the Magic 8 ball says it is decidedly so. Let's go, baby. Let's go. All right. 10:21 left in the first. Oh, you know what? Might be time for a little bit of cold medication because I'm struggling here. I'm struggling. Maddie's asking me if I have any lozenges. I think we do, but they're in the kitchen. So I'd have to run and get them. Maybe during commercial break, you guys will let me do it. I'll just run to the kitchen and grab it. I should have. You know what? I didn't even think. Like, I haven't been coughing that much today. I had meetings and stuff like that, and then all of a sudden, I get on mic here with you guys, and I'm like, anyway. So welcome. By the way, for anybody that didn't catch it, I did want to say thank you so much for donating to our Movember. Just as an aside here, as the Leafs win the faceoff draw in their own zone, we raised. I think the tally is still coming in, but it's well over $6,500, which is unbelievable. It's an unbelievable amount, and we just so appreciate you guys doing that, and obviously the Movember folks do too. So, Gervo says, "Do it. Lozenges for everyone." Nate says, "Why is Adam so red?" Because I'm coughing. All right. I'm going to go get the lozenges right now because we're on commercial break. I'll be right back. Okay, so I've got good news and I got bad news. Okay? The good news is that I have lozenges. The bad news is I've only got 2 to last me the whole game. I'm getting a little hot here from talking. So I'm just gonna take off this shirt. Let's get sick and crazy together. Yeah. So it's Halls. Apparently this stuff is it's good for stopping some coughs. I don't know. We should get a Hall sponsor. Yeah, that's a good, or Fisherman's Friend. Love that one too. We do. We do. Yeah. And Maddie's like, we use this. We use Halls a lot. And yeah, we do. People are saying I should DoorDash. I might have to. Yeah, it's kind of crazy. All right. Leafs win the face-off draw. I don't know, guys. I'm going to make it through this game. My wife was like, "Are you sure you want to do this?" And I was like, "Yes. Hell yes." And now and she was saying, "Maybe you should ask Jesse or Steve to do it." And I said, "You're wrong. You don't know me, bro." And she was like, "Okay." And then now I'm coughing my way through the stream, but I can't allow her to win this one. So I gotta tough it out. Oh, Nye's behind the net to Matthews. Matthews loses the puck. Marchand, Lundell, and Reinhart bringing the puck back, and they pass it so hard it goes into the Florida Panthers fan section. Jeremy says, "Hey, Adam, a Blues fan. Has SDPN considered expanding affiliate podcasts for teams? Would be awesome to see some dedicated content, teams across the league." Yeah, we've talked about that. And I mean, obviously, first off, we got to be very, very judicious with our budget. One of the things that we're very cognizant of is that we're a newish business, and a smaller business, and you got to be careful. The question is, how many people are going to be into it if we're posting, like, if we got an SDPN page like we have right now, if we had 32 teams going, for instance, right? That means we'd have videos coming out like almost every hour. And so I don't know how we would do it. Like, I feel like we might have to start another, like a second channel or something like that. Oh, I'm not really sure how fans would respond to a video coming out that much. Although I guess it doesn't matter. Like, I mean, YouTube will pick up what it picks up and put it on the homepage. So, yeah, I'm not really sure. And then the other question is, can you get really great talent who people love and want to watch? Because that's always a challenge too. Like, we don't have rights to a hockey game, right? If you are like ESPN or TNT or TSN, you can put people on that people don't like. They're going to come in and watch the game anyway. It's not going to turn people off watching the game. But when you're us, you kind of have to worry about like, oh, what if this person has no talent and nobody wants to listen to what they have to say, right? So, launching new shows is expensive, and it's, you never know. And so right now we're good with where we're at, but I definitely think, ideally we're a multi-sport and multi city sort of channel eventually, or a set of channels. That's what we'd like to be. Robert Bet, Buckley's tastes awful, but it works. I should get some of that. Knives behind the net. Tavares with the puck. Oh, that's Cameron. That's not nice. What am I saying? I've loved watching Easton Cowan play hockey. I can see why scouts love this guy. Like, honestly, there he is with a shot on the net. Tavares is in the right spot with the screen. Obviously, nothing happens there, but there's a scoring chance that just the Leafs were not creating that stuff even a couple weeks ago. Holmish says SDPN at the top of my YouTube YouTube year in review, top 0.1%. Thanks to everybody at SDPN for the awesome content. When are the Gripper Nation socks coming? You know what? Gripper Nation socks. You know what? Maddie is like freaking out in my ears right now. She's like, you got to get Jesse on that. You're right. You're absolutely right. We need that. We can have some fun with that. Francois Labelle, Fisherman's Friend Extra Strength is the best. By the way, I missed the porn stash. Hey guys, can I get you know what? Can we get a something in the chat? Is Robert running the chat, or is it Justin, Maddie? Okay. So running the chat, can we get Justin can we get a poll with mustache or without? This is another argument I can't let my wife win, because I said having that mustache made me more handsome. She said it did not. Decidedly not. She understood the cause, but boy, was she happy to see the top of my lip again. Katie says, hey, hot toddy recipe, Adam. Hot water or tea, shot of whiskey, 3 teaspoons of honey, and lots of lemon. Stir briskly and sip. That sounds pretty good right about now. I'm not going to lie. A lot of people are suggesting Cepacol. I've never had Cepacol. It's another lozenge. Yeah, Maddie's never heard of Cepacol, but I have heard of it. I used to work at Shoppers Drug Mart, so I'm well aware of Cepacol and other related products. My boss, who was a woman, thought it was hilarious when I was 16 and I started working there. She's like, you know what? I'm going to educate you. And I said, what do you mean? And she's like, you're going to be the person who's in charge of the feminine health section. So my job for 2 years was to make sure that section was stocked and faced up. That's where you bring everything to the front and make it look really good. So she's like, your future wife will thank me. And I don't know if Natalie has, but she should. But I know those products well too, damn it. Matthew Nyes out front. Oh, I didn't get the shot off. Leafs creating stuff in the offensive zone. What? Maddie says this is a high-pressure game. This is a game. Listen, it's a game it's the toilet bowl for a reason. It's a game for last in the division, but also it's a game for ego. The Leafs are going to feel good if they win this game. The Panthers are going to feel good if they win this game. This is a game about your ego a little bit. And you know what? Both teams could use a bit of an ego boost after the start they've had. Although I feel like the Panthers are pretty confident. D says, do you keep in touch with your former Shoppers Drug Mart coworker, Drake? I always used to make the joke on the radio when I was a radio DJ that he and I were coworkers. And people were like, well, you worked at different stores. And I said, so what? Did you work at Shoppers Drug Mart at the same time as Drake? And they were like, no. I said, so were you coworkers? Because I was. I was part of the SDM family. Okay, store 829. Look it up. That's all I'm saying. All right, Drake. I don't know what story was that. Doesn't matter. Oh, it looks like Dakota Joshua might have drawn a penalty. No, it wasn't. It was a hooking call. Who was that on? Leafs are going to the power play. Now, I'm not sure if this is a benefit to them or not. Because I don't know if you've been watching the Leafs play hockey. By the way, it's Anton. No, it's not Anton Lindell. No, it's Devine. Okay. Well, I don't know that this is a benefit to the Leafs. Sometimes I feel like their power play is so bad they might as well decline the penalty. But last year in December, the Leafs power play was also sort of bad. And then from December to mid January, they had like the hottest power play in the league. So I'm hoping that happens again this week or this year. I don't know that that's like I don't know if that's necessarily possible, but you know, I'm just saying. Pretzel Hunt says, I am a co-worker of Abigail Walton of the Denver Broncos Walmarts. Well, there you go. Do you think the Walton family who owns Walmart and makes their kids stock shelves? I feel like you should. Like, you're a billionaire. How do you teach your kids about normal life? I would say, listen, you're going to go do grunt work for like 10 years. You're going to be no inheritance, no nothing, no allowance, nothing. You're going to go work and you're going to manage a local store and you're going to find out what it's like to work. And then after that, maybe you can appreciate the insane amount of money you were born into. Meme Empress, Cassie's here. So I will say this, Sidney Crosby with a mustache looks like Freddie Mercury. That's actually, I don't disagree with that, although Sidney's legs, much thicker than Freddie's. He's got those hockey thick daddy legs. You know what I'm talking about? Pokemon Messiah. Marchand stuck up for the Leafs. He'll give them a spark to win tonight, and he'll remind them who their daddy is in Game 7 of the playoffs. Yeah, I noticed that. He was talking about, Brad Marchand was saying today that anybody who says the Leafs are not going to make the playoffs should be out of a job. Like, yeah. We got it, Brad. Yeah, nobody loves when the cameras come to town more than Brad. And it would have been hilarious if he ended up being a Leaf because I think he would have handled the media in this town pretty damn well. Plus, he's had a great start. I don't blame him for not leaving Florida. I'm just saying. I think he would have enjoyed it. McCowan to Matthews at the point, to Cowan on the half boards, cycling down low. Panthers trying to block the passing lanes. Cowan goes behind the net, gets it to Nylander, back to Cowan to Tavares, back to Cowan to Matthews. They're trying to find an open shot. Panthers deflect a light Matthews shot. Nylander's got it at the blue line. Now Tavares. Leafs are playing a little too outside here. Here we go. Matthews got it inside to Cowan, who tried to back in to Bobrovsky. No dice. And there's a minute gone on the power play. Leafs without a shot, but some good looks. Some good looks. Listen, we're grading on a curve here. They've been really bad on the power play. Morgan Riley, Max Domi, shot, and that goes right to the chest of Bobrovsky. And Morgan Riley takes a nice little Nico Mikkola carbon fiber shaft to the mouth just for following up on that shot. Connor says Jeff O'Neill went off on Brad Marchand for being disingenuous pregame. It was great. Good for Jeff O'Neill. I love Jeff O'Neill. I think he's awesome. Brad Marchand is disingenuous with Toronto media every single time. So is Matt Tkachuk. They know how to play us like a fiddle. And they know that everything they say is going to be clipped and put on one of those weird bar down graphics where it's like tweet and then player in the background and 9,000 people have commented. It's just the way it's going. Shout out Cassie, by the way. What's up? As I said, I think Marchand is beautiful playing the media. Justin on the SDPN chat says he's not disingenuous. He's a fan of the Leafs. I bet he's a fan of the Leafs. Man, if I had run over a team that much, I'd be a fan of them too. Big man around. Max Domi. Lindell all over him. Panthers really aggressive on the Leafs' second power play unit, probably knowing that the Leafs' second power play unit can't handle the puck the way the first unit can. Domi to Oliver Ekman-Larsson. At the point, 21 seconds to go. McMahon keeps the puck in. Leafs unable to handle it, and the puck is kicked out. 15 seconds to go. I'd imagine one of the Leafs' top lines is going to come out here. Domi. I think it's going to be Nyes and Matthews. Yep, that's right. They're out. Penalty over. Leafs got a shot. Not bad, honestly. Not bad. Stetcher keeps the puck in. Leafs looking good. You know, I say that, and then I get concerned saying that, basically, because every time I've said that, it's like, oh, here they go. Pretty evenly matched game by two basement teams. McCabe to Nylander. Nylander tries to chip the puck up to Scott Laughton. Puck is blocked at the blue line. Joseph Wall out to play it. Notice, by the way, guys, Joseph Wall stopping the puck behind his net so much more than he did last year. If you go back and you watch any of those Florida Panthers, Toronto Maple Leafs games in the second round, and I don't blame you for not wanting to, because I would also cry if I had to watch them. But one thing that really stuck out was Anthony Stoller's ability to play the puck versus Joseph Wall's ability. And Anthony Stollers was great at it, and Joseph Wall really wasn't. And the Panthers were really able to take advantage once Sam Bennett kneed Stollers in the head. You know, they were able to sort of take advantage of the fact that the Leafs goaltender was not moving the puck to the defense, which meant that the defense had to retrieve the puck, which meant that the vaunted and respected Florida Panthers forecheck was able to crush the Leafs D over the course of several games, right? Like, I think Chris Tanev, to that point in the playoffs, took the most hits of any player, like, by far. So what was clear about Woll's game, even though he played well in the series, was he needed to start moving the puck behind the net and not watching his defense get crushed. And it seems like that's what he's done. Nick Waugh carries the puck out. The Nick Waugh line, by the way, opened the scoring today on a Bobby McMahon feed to Dakota Joshua, his second goal in 2 games since coming back from a healthy scratch. Leafs are playing well in this game if you're just catching up, because I noticed we've gone up about 200 people in the last few minutes. Leafs are winning battles along the boards. They are controlling some semblance of the play. They did just ice the puck there, so that's not great. But and that's not to take anything away from Florida, but I have to say, I'm good. I'm good. Wow, 60% of people like me better with the mustache than without. Wow. I gotta show that to my wife. Ha. Actually, to be honest with you, it really doesn't. Oh! Oh, wow. AJ Greer was basically putting his ass on Joseph Wall's head. 2 cheeks on the back of his head. And Joseph Wall's laughing about it, but that created a pretty good offensive zone opportunity. This is where you wish Troy Stetcher was like a foot taller. And I think if he was, Troy Stetcher would be one of the better defensemen in the NHL. He'd be making a lot more money. He's just, when you see him up against guys like Greer, he cannot move them, right? He's not physically able. But he brings so many other things that the Leafs have needed on defense that he's been a great fit. It's just, you're going to have to rely more on Philip Myers to get that done. Oh, wrist shot from Forsling at the point. Ekblad in pinching. Samoskevich along the boards against Matthews. Matthews dumps the puck out, and Matthew Nyes is going to go after it. Robert Betts says, Brad Marchand lives in your head if you let him, and I want him on the Leafs. Well, that time has passed. That would have been this summer. But Brad Marchand will always troll the Leafs. It would be nice if the Leafs could get him just one time before he retires. And I mean, if you believe his contract, he's got 6 years left to go. So they got some opportunities. Morgan Riley, 30 seconds to go. Matthew Nyes almost had a chance. And the puck was flipped behind him, which has almost created a Florida Panthers opportunity, but they messed that up. Bit of a wide open end of the period here. Do not let in a goal. Your entire job is to not let the Panthers score here. Marchand throws the puck on. Wall doesn't see it. 9 seconds to go. Domi fires the puck up the ice. It is going to be an icing, but with like a second to go. SDPN just asked, who's your favorite to win the Norris Trophy this year? Is it OEL or Stetcher? I'm giving it to OEL, mostly because I'm biased and he's on my fantasy team. You know what? Seeing Samoskevich on the ice hurt, I would feel bad, but these are the Florida Panthers. And Panthers fans, if you're in the chat right now, you know. No apologies. You guys have caused a lot of pain. Somebody's got to cause something back. Alex Denome says, why did Edmonton let go of Stetcher? He seems like a great depth D. Well, I think he was a great depth D for them for the last couple of years. But I think Ty Emberson has emerged there. And and I also don't think that things are going particularly well there. And I think what they were lacking, the Leafs were lacking, Stetcher provided, which is maybe less than what he could provide in Edmonton. You know, I don't have a good answer for that, but yeah, I don't know. The Leafs look good. Panthers look good. This game could be either way right now. Alex says, Adam, my buddy says he would leave his boyfriend for a shot at you. I'd say it's a compliment. Are you cool with that? Of course I'm cool with that. Listen, at 37 years old and a few pounds overweight, I got to take compliments wherever I can get them. So it's my wife and your friend, whatever their name is, Alex. I'm appreciative. Thank you. Jackie says Emerson and Regula kind of push Stetcher out. Well, there you go. And you know what? That's why you have waivers. So a guy like Troy Stetcher can find a spot somewhere else. Ian says Treliving needs to jersey Barry Trotz and steal a bunch of their players from Smashville. True. Which players would you want, though? Because, like, I'd like a guy like Luke Evangelista, but apparently any rumors about him being out there are unfounded. I asked CJ. So is it like Steven Stamkos, who's like 3 or 4 points? Is it Jonathan Marchessault, who I think would belong? I think he'd be so good on the Canadians. I don't know. Matt, so I'm going to take a break. Maddie, what are we playing here? Oh, beautiful. Okay. Oh, wow, everybody. And it's fun because it's got a little bit from our Oshawa show as well. I will see you at the beginning of the second period.
Shall we dance? Hello, friends. Steve Dangle here, and welcome to another episode of Oh, Wow! Where we take a look at the best from around the OHL over this past week. For our first highlight, we're going to start with Nick Sema of the Saginaw Spirit, and this is your daily reminder to never give up!
They knock into the boards. AJ Spellisy holds his balance here against Gervais. James Gill gotten out of the zone. Some backspin and some speed here from Sema. Catches up to it in the circle. Nick Sema, oh, what a goal! Nick Sema, 2-0 with 5 to go.
Windsor went to sleep on that one. Sema took advantage of it.
Listen to that! The announcer, the crowd, that's a huge goal. It's not just that it's beautiful, which it is. Nick Sema never gives up on this play, uses speed, and burns down the ice. Grabs the puck, slick move, and the finish, ew. The Mississauga native is 6'3", 205 with wheels like that. Methinks he has a future. That's a nasty goal for the Spirit. Nick Sema, Oh, wow. Now, Windsor was on the receiving end of that one, but this is a Windsor highlight. Because, folks, we are in teddy bear toss season. It's a great initiative. I've always enjoyed the teddy bear toss. I was fortunate enough to be on the ice for one when I was the in-arena host of the Mississauga Steelheads in 2012. Well, the Windsor Spitfires held their teddy bear toss night this past week, and Carson Woodall managed to score the fastest teddy bear toss goal in Windsor Spitfires history.
Snellgrove will pick it off the wall, get it to the line. Spitfires hold it in. Moving down the lane, Carson Woodall shoots and scores! Bring him out! A minute 33 in, and Carson Woodall has the teddy bear goal for 2025.
Oh, isn't this quite the sight to see? Always fun being a part of the teddy bear toss game. Pretty fitting. You don't want to give Carson Woodall time and space in the slot to walk in and fire it, but
I love the teddy bear toss and like posing with these giant bears and everything. And then you realize, oh, they got to play like 58 and a half more minutes in regulation. Carson Woodall, by the way, having an unreal season on the back end for Windsor. Last season in 66 games, he had 3 goals and 38 points. That's not bad. This season, in just 26 games, 6 goals, so twice the amount of goals, and 33 points. He's almost at last season's total already. Oh, and he scored the teddy bear toss goal in record time. Carson Woodall, the Windsor Spitfires, and the fans in Windsor for showing up and chucking those teddy bears. Oh, wow. Now, for our next highlight, I don't like it because I was at an Oshawa Generals game for Steve Dangle podcast night. They were nice enough to invite us, and we got to, like, throw foam pucks at people, and we were on the Jumbotron, which we'll get to later. Come on, Steve! And then 17-year-old Kitchener Rangers forward Alexander Bally ruined my night with this incredible play.
Kitchener controls. Bally from behind his net to Chromiak. Slides it for Ellis. Ballecki's going to the net. Bally in front, what a play! The finish by Arquette, but he goes straight to Bally to celebrate with him. Behind the back pass and a beauty.
Oh my heavens. I was just lucky this happened down at the other end of the ice. That whoa. Like, listen, does this goal have an unfair advantage of getting in this video because I was there? Yeah. Does it deserve to be in this video? Yeah. That goal was buried by Cameron Arquette, but holy cow, the setup from Bally behind the back. The defender is off to a great start this season, and not a bad season for it on account of you might get drafted. He had 14 points in 45 games last season, but as a young defender, like, it's hard enough playing that many games in the OHL at that age. This season, he's got 4 goals. That already surpasses his total from last year. 6 assists and 10 points in just 23 games. I just wish he didn't do it to the Oshawa Generals while I was there. Oh, wow. But, you know, I still had a good time. Producer Hayden, can you show the moves? The people want to see the moves. Look at that. Look at that. I went to Juilliard. I am a trained dancer. Look at that. Grace and beauty. I was escorted out moments later. For our next clip, we go back to Windsor to take a look at the Spitfires in what might be the best play-by-play call of the season. Here's Cole Davis, shorthanded again. You know how good you gotta be shorthanded to not only have 4 shorthanded goals before December, but to be in alone shorthanded and have the play-by-play guy call your shot. You got called the shorthanded king in the middle of scoring a goal.
Taylor and Nancy, they can't gain the line. And now DeLille and Banks. And it's going to be a breakaway for Davis. The short-handed king scores! And the Spitfires finally take flight. Goal Davis, his 4th short-handed goal. And the Spitfires have tied the score at 1.
That is unparalleled levels of aura. 11 goals so far this season in 22 games, so half a goal a game, but he's averaging a shorthanded goal like every 5 games. And he's also got 20 points. Cole Davis of Sutton, Ontario. Oh, wow. And for our final highlight, here's 17-year-old Pierce Mbui. He can't stop lighting it up for the Owen Sound attack. This one almost shorthanded, but not quite. But it still counts.
Now back for McFadden. Paquette whistles into a one-timer. Got the wood on it that time, but it was blocked. Shabinski can't hold it alive. Short-handed breakaway now for Bowie. Here comes Bowie. Big stop, rebound, scores. He bats it in out of the air. It will not be a shorty. The attack don't mind. Bowie makes it 5-3. Owen Sound catching the storm napping.
You know what drives me nuts? Last season, when he was 16, Pearson Bowie had 29 goals, 52 points in 63 games. This season, in 27 games so far, he has 14 goals, that being one of them, and 35 points. And people are going to see that he's listed at about 5'10", $160, and still go, I don't know. The great thing about guys like Alex DeBrincat doing unbelievably in the OHL, but going way too late, and then having a great NHL career anyway, the great thing about players like that is we never learn, do we? Maybe this season will be different. I don't know. Someone should take this kid, and someone should take him early. He's second on the Owen Sound attack in scoring so far because of that three-headed monster they have up front. Tristan Delisle with 35 points, Mbui with 35 points as well, so he's actually tied for the lead, and Harry Nancy with 34 points. Here's Bowie. Oh, wow. So, what did you think of this week's edition of Oh, Wow? Should we always feature dancing? Let me know in the comment box down below. But for now, that is it for this one. Thank you very much for watching. Click like if you like this edition of Oh Wow. Click subscribe to SDPN for all things OHL if you really liked it. Tell all your friends. Draft the little guy who scores a lot. Learn!
I made a Neo Citron, so I'm hoping that's what gets us through the second period. Cheers. The Leafs scored 2 goals. I had 2 coughs per minute through the first period. I have to be honest. I'm trying not to focus on it too much, but I do want to tell you that I feel like the Leafs are playing good hockey. And what scares me about that, and I think this is a fair point, is that we're going into the second period. Now, if this were the 24-25 season, I'd be like, hell yeah. Second period, this is where they own the game. Leafs were amazing in second periods last year. This year, well, I mean, it's been their worst period by far. And so when we look at that, and when we consider that, and I'm thinking about specifically my last stream. They started to blow the game against Washington on Friday in the second period. Maybe you missed it because the game was early. It was American Thanksgiving. Everybody's coming home from work. But they were up 2-0. And midway through that period, they were like, you know what? Let's concede a goal. And let's never score another one the rest of the game. Leafs are in a similar position now, 2-0. And they're heading into the second period. And it's Bobrovsky who's had their number. And I'm just kind of sitting here going, am I allowed to enjoy this yet? Because I've really enjoyed the way they played that first period. I really enjoyed the way they played the Penguins. I enjoyed the first half of the Caps game. I mean, they kind of got it outshot, but at least in this game, shots are even. Looks like scoring chances are relatively even. I haven't looked at a deserve to win a meter recently. But I'll tell you, it feels good eye test wise. I like, it's so weird because, you think about the mentality of these guys and they are like driven athletes, don't have a carb, never drink a beer, blah, 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 whatever. And teams at this level get into these little mental block situations where it's like, well, we're just bad in the second period and we don't know why. And like, it's crazy because these guys are all like David Goggins reading Joe Rogan raw meat people, right? And they're like, no, but the second period, it's so scary. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. Kristen says, so they're Nate McKinnon. No, Nate McKinnon's the chickpea pasta and the no chocolate bars in the dressing room. I think it was Nikita Zadorov that said that. That was funny. That was a really great story. And apparently Nathan McKinnon hated that got out there. I don't know why. I think it makes him look like a badass, By the way, do you guys know that Connor Bedard's apparently never had a McDonald's hamburger? Can you believe that? Never had a McDonald's hamburger growing up. That's crazy. And that's because he was just so focused on hockey. Like, brother, you can have a McDonald's hamburger and still be focused on hockey. It's not going to kill you. Robert says, would love to see Dakota Joshua explode on Bennett or Greer or both like he did on Dumba. Well, that steal on Matt Dumba was so embarrassing. And it's crazy. Like, Matt Dumba used to be considered, when he was with the Wylde, like, he's one of the best up-and-coming guys. It's him and Jared Spurgeon. Jonas Brodin. Remember that? And now he's just Guy, who's kind of made his way around. Played, I think, the last year in Arizona. And then he went, where'd he go last year? Tampa. And then now he's in Pittsburgh. What happened to Matt Dumba? He was an analytics darling for a while. No longer. Maybe he just got hurt. I don't know. Oh, here comes Matthew Nyes on a partial break on Seth Jones. He's going to beat him in. Moves. Oh, and he uses his ass. He uses butt power and is actually able to push Seth Jones off, but he misses like the handle on the last little bit. What a great move. The power of the cheeks. Cheeks be clapping in this game. Henderson says, Lightning fans saying it with my whole chest tonight. Go Leafs, go. Hell yeah. Love to have Tampa on side. Ekman Larson passes up to Tavares. Leaves it for Cowan. Cowan with a shot through traffic. Just misses the net and skirts out. Riley Ekman-Larsson, one of the NHL's top scoring defense pairs, just like we all drew it up. I mean, it's great to see. It's nice to see Riley with the defense pairing again that he seems to like fit with. They finally got it to work, and I don't think Carlo's going to be back for a while. So it feels like when Carlo is back and Tanev's back, they'll keep Riley OEL together, and you put Carlo with Troy Stecher. I know both of them are right-handed, but I feel like having the puck movement with Carlo and Carlo being Gandalf, you shall not pass, with his big staff, that could be a pretty solid third pairing. And that means that Simon Benoit is not going to get it every night. That's good depth. If everybody wasn't injured, the Leafs might have great depth. But we may never know. Shots are almost even, as being pointed out in the chat, by the way. I know, it's kind of crazy. The Leafs have almost the same amount of shots as an opponent. Never happens. Must be something new. Lorentz on this fourth line, new look fourth line with Nicholas Robertson in for Calle Jarnkrok for the second game in a row. Nick Robertson has played well enough not to be scratched, for sure. It's kind of crazy that he's ended up on the fourth line, but it's also like kind of makes sense. That's where he's going to be. The third line's cooking. The first line looks good. Second line finally looks good again because, Nylander was hurt for a little bit or vomiting for a bit, and with Easton Cowan up and whatever. And you know what? Nick Robertson, with the way he skates and the way he tries, that guy doesn't deserve to sit. Maybe you get a little scoring on that fourth line because we know Calle Jarnkrok's just not in that stage in his career anymore. That's a guy that used to get 15 goals a season. I just don't think that that's where Calle Jarnkrok is. And honestly, if you're a great hockey team, and I don't know that you have a guy like Calle Jarnkrok scoring 15 goals for you anyway. I had higher hopes for Calle. I still like the player. Matthews with a shot, kicked aside by Bobrovsky. Matthews back in from Domi. Tries to get the puck to Nyes. Domi throws a hit on Marchand, separates him from the puck, but Marchand immediately gets the puck back. OEL makes the interception. Puck fired up the ice, and that's one of the fastest icings you'll ever see. MT says, what would Gripper Nation slippers even look like? If we're going to do socks, we should do Gripper Nation slippers. Maybe a Gripper Nation / Crocs crossover. Maddie wants to call them grip slips. I think we got our brand name there. I need to travel to wherever they make slippers and go see the factory and be like, guys, we need to put a lot of effort in these grip slips. All right? You'll have to forgive me. For anybody that's just tuning in, I have been struggling like mad today with my throat. And I've been hacking and coughing. Anyway, I'm better now. Man, they're showing this Matthew Nyes play again with his butt. And boy, Seth Jarvis is not prepared for that dump truck. That dump truck is backing up with no beeps. And he is like, Seth Jarvis is supposed to be big, scary, tough man. Not when Matthew Nyes is in there. A legitimate power forward option for the Leafs. How great is that? 15:59. The shots are even. There's very few times in the season that I've been able to stream a game, and it's been this late in the game, and I've been able to say shots are even. Oh, and that is another icing. McMahon and Boquist went after it. Excuse me. Oh, Matthew Nyes is about to pass Mike Johnson for 131st in playoff history, or in Leafs history in points. Good for him. Mike Johnson. You gotta love that. Hey, I would love to be 130th in Leafs history in points. I think that'd be cool. Denise Campbell says, Adam, what do you like the Jays? Oh, here we go. Joshua up front. Shot from Benoit. Adam, do you like the Jays signings lately? I like the Dylan C signing. Listen, I'm a fan more than I'm like an expert on the Jays. There is so much to baseball to truly be intelligent in talking about baseball, but the guy they signed today, what's his name? Ponce something? I don't know. Anyway, he last played in the MLB in like 2021, but he went to Korea and basically changed up his game, added more miles per hour to his fastball, changed his mechanics, and I think he was, what they say, 17-1 or 18-1 this season, and he struck out 278 batters. Listen, it's not the MLB, but like those are crazy numbers, and it's a 3-year deal. So the Jays must believe that he's a guy that can really make a difference. I don't know if he's going to be their 5th starter, and I don't know if that means Barrios is traded. I don't know if he's going to be like a long reliever, but a 3-year deal is a big commitment, and I think he's only making like $800,000 or $900,000. So why not? Adam, did you consider seeing Paul McCartney in Hamilton? Are you still traumatized from Neil Young? Franco, you know what? I honestly didn't even know that Paul McCartney was playing Hamilton, but it's very cool that arena is finally open at TD Center, I think it's called. It's great to have an arena in this country that isn't named after Rogers. Just nice to switch it up. And it's pretty cool that Paul McCartney's the first guy to play there. I'm curious about Bulldogs games there because it's a 15,000 seat arena. Is that too big for the OHL? Because I think London's like 9,000 and they sell out. I don't know. What do you guys think? Oh, it's TD Coliseum. Excuse me. Because, it was Cops Coliseum before. But yeah, I keep wondering if they're going to bring an AHL franchise there. I know there was rumors about the Marlies. For a hot minute, there was rumors about the Marlies moving there. And so I emailed the contact at the AHL and said, hey, is this happening? And they were like, no, we're planning the schedule right now, and there's no Marlies to Hamilton. I was like, okay. Marcus says, are you going to go see Iron Maiden and Megadeth this summer? Absolutely. And Motley Crue's also coming to town, and I will be going to see that too, as bad as they probably are now. Iron Maiden is still good. Megadeth, I think it's their last tour, so I haven't seen them ever, so I want to see them. But yeah, absolutely, I'm going to that. And I think this is the last year that we get Budweiser stage for a couple of years because I think they're renovating it, and I think they're going to make it an all-season venue, so it can open up in the summer, but it'd be available all year long. Because I don't know if you notice in Toronto, there's like a whole bunch of concerts come here in the summer that are like mid-level, 10,000, 15,000 seaters, but then nobody comes in the winter because they're not going to play Coca-Cola Coliseum because it's old. And it's also taken up by like the Royal Canadian Tattoo and Winter Fair and Boat Show and all that. A lot of concerts just straight up disappear. So it'd be good to have like a mid-sized place. I have seen Iron Maiden. I saw Iron Maiden again. I think I saw them summer 2019, and they were incredible. They still have it, baby. They still have it. 12:30 left in the second period. Leafs and Panthers going back and forth here. Matthews with a nice setup from Nyes. One of the things that I think is going to help Austin Matthews score more goals is getting him pucks. And I know that sounds hilarious because Matthew Nyes is like one of the leaders in 5-on-5 assists in the NHL. I think Domi on this line is going to be key. If Domi can make this work, his vision is really, really key to Austin Matthews' success. And a lot of people forget this, but it was Domi, Bertuzzi, Matthews when Matthews was scoring almost 70 goals. Here comes Marchand, 2-on-1. Oh, and it's broken up by Domi, who almost puts it into his own net, but Joseph Woll is able to turn Max Domi's poke check aside. Warrior Womp, is Adam a Swiftie? You bet. I saw Taylor Swift in Edmonton at Rexall Place. That's how long ago it was. She was phenomenal. Phenomenal. I also really like that new song of hers. The one, I know everybody hated the new album, but the Fate of Ophelia, that's a great song. Flat out. I don't care what you think of the album. What a song. That chorus just stays with you all day. It's delicious. Benoit coming in. Look at Benoit. Activated to Tavares. Oh, Tavares had a wide open net. Bobrovsky down. And he's just not able to put that puck in. I think Bobrovsky got his glove up. I told you guys, do not underestimate Bob. All right? I will never underestimate Bob until he is retired. And then I will say, you're not as good at goalie as you used to be, Bob. Guys, a first ballot Hall of Famer, 3 Stanley Cup finals in a row. I feel like even if he's had a bad year this year, he'll turn it on. Dakota Joshua behind the net. He's one of the goal scorers tonight. Get a great setup from Bobby McMahon. That's his second goal, by the way, in 2 games since coming off a healthy scratch. We love that. Troy Stetcher from the blue line shot, and that puck is not out. High, though. Nick Waugh with it. This third line is cooking. How do you like that, Florida? How about our third line cooks you? Huh? Does it feel good? Because it didn't feel good the other way. Bobby McMahon shot on net. Bobrovsky turns that aside, and I think this line is finally out of gas. Big hit by Joshua at the blue line. They're going to try to get a change, but not get too many men on the ice. Leafs throw it in. Change is happening. I think it's all 5 players. And it looks like Florida was changing as well. Shot right on the net. Oh, boy. Luke Kunin beat the Leafs defense back, got the rebound. Here comes the fourth line. It is Lorentz, Robertson, and Lawton. Lawton from Riley. Puck up to Robertson. Back to OEL. Here we go. Ekman Larsson tries to get it out front. It is tipped wide. Goes behind the net. Lorentz stops it up at the line. That's Steven Lorentz, former Florida Panther. Won a cup with Oliver Ekman Larsson. Both of them signed in Toronto the next year because it's better. Matthew Nyes. No, actually, Steven Lorentz just signed here because he was a Leaf fan. He didn't even sign. He got like a PTO, and they're like, we'll sign you eventually. And he's like, trust. Oh, nice play by Stetcher. First line is out for the Leafs, and that nice little rebound there. And obviously, Bobrovsky had it. Savid Dragizevich says, now this is the Leafs. I hope so. I like this. I really like this. I think they're playing well. Do we trust it? It's the second period. Do we trust it, chat? Do we trust or no trust? That's what I got to know. Emo Jalapeno says, score aside, I'm loving this game. It's a good game. By the way, there seems to be a whole chat going on in a music chat in our chat happening. People debating whether Tool or Primus are a good band or not. You can jump in on that. I know Justin Fisher is going to get right in on that. I think he's got opinions. Nothing, though, will beat Coheed and Cambria. Right, Justin? Steve and I can remember going to Justin's house when we were teenagers, and he'd put them on. And I think he had like a Coheed and Cambria DVD. That's what I'm saying. By the way, a lot of people are saying do not trust the Leafs. Never can. David Owen says, are the Leafs running their show tonight? It feels weird. I don't know that they're running their show. Listen, David, I hope that's what the stats say. I don't know that they're quite there. But running the show for the Leafs right now feels like they're just playing an equal game to their opponent. Do you know what I'm saying? They're not getting shelled and squeaking away with one. There's some confidence here. They're not squeezing the stick. It's nice. William Wessel says, I'm learning Seek and Destroy from Metallica while watching. Flippin' great song and a flippin' great album. Love that album. Adriana says, hey, any John Tesh fans? Music for your life. It's the John Tesh radio program. I remember, so John Tesh, first off, John Tesh used to date Oprah. Crazy story. If you don't know who John Tesh is, he's like a syndicated evening show guy across North America. And his show, literally, I've always compared it to like, he's just like random fact guy. He just drops, and it's like, you're playing like the end of a Whitney Houston song. He goes, I'm John Tesh, and did you know the sky is blue? And the reason for that is oxygen. It's the John Tesh radio program. Now here's Phil Collins. Whatever it is. He just drops facts in, provides no commentary, has no opinions, and people eat it up. And I remember when I worked in Barrie, we on our sister station, I was on the top 40 station when I was like 19. There was a light listening station. It was called Shay. And Shay 93.1 played John Tesh in the evening because they were too cheap to actually get, a real person in the studio. And John Tesh rates really well. Anyway, long story short, the cleaning lady came by because I was live in the evening in Barrie. And she knocked on the door and she's like, hello. And I said, hi, what's up? And she was like, she's holding her vacuum cleaner and she's like, can you tell me where John Tesch's office is? And I said, excuse me? And she's like, could you tell me where John Tesch's office is? I have a note for him. I was hoping he'd give my friend a shout out on the radio. And I was like, oh, I got bad news for you. But you know what? Shout out to him. She thought he was from Barrie. John Tesch of Barrie, Ontario. 7:53 left in the second period. A lot of pushing back and forth through neutral zones. Not a lot of shots. Not a lot of chances right now. And you know what? For the Leafs, that's a good thing. You're up 2-0. What Berube wants now. Hell, we got Matthews away on a breakaway. Oh, Bobrovsky was with him the whole way. Matthews tried and waited. He was able to put one off the outside post, but not quite. Still, Leafs are getting their opportunities, man. As I was going to say, I think Craig Berube, ideally in a situation like this, wants low-event hockey. Not get your ass handed to you and have your goalie bail you out hockey, which is what they've been playing. So, is it boring to watch? Sure. Will it win you games? Well, that's the theory. Matthews to Domi. Domi's got 3 Panthers on him. Oh, Matthews spun around. Nyes was not quite in place yet. Would have been a perfect tap-in goal. And I think Matthew Nyes was just like a step behind. OEL to Easton Cowan. Cowan to Tavares. Tavares, nice little backhand in. Nylander tried to get the rebound, but it flips over his stick. And the Florida Panthers have thrown the puck out of the zone. Is that tipped out or is that a penalty? Wow. Oh, wait. Rest in peace, John Tesch. Did John Tesch die? No. Maddie, have you ever heard of John Tesch? Oh. No, John Tesch is alive. 73. Lives in Garden City, New York. Look at all these. Alex says, I think we should smash that like button or the Leafs lose the lead. Oh, Maddie, can we? I don't know if we can have a super chat like Alex just put in there. Somebody actually, somebody said on, was it? Oh God, was it the Capitals stream last week? Somebody said, oh no, it was the Columbus stream. And they're like, listen, the Leafs are playing great, which means Jet Greaves is for sure getting a shutout. And man, I felt like he was going to. It almost happened. Jet Greaves plays the Leafs really damn well. Really well. That's bad TV, says Alex. What is wrong with you? Man, I can't believe Justin Fisher's not joining in this band talk. Oh, yeah, there you go. There you go. He's in there. So I don't know. I don't think there was a penalty here on Florida. I would love to know how this puck went out, but they're showing the Matthews. Oh. Bobrovsky played that Matthews play beautifully. Like really good. And Matthews I think Matthews ideally on that play would have wanted to backhand it low between the legs. So he's looking at the iPad going, what could I have done there? But I think, Bobrovsky had a stick out too. So for a poke check, hard to do. Oh, shot in. Tavares. Leafs are doing the right things here to create offense. One thing that their defense is doing this year a lot more than I've seen in recent years is they're floating pucks in. And shout out to the Leafs offensive coaching because the guys are actually going to the net. I would scream it like Steve Dangle does, but my voice won't allow it, and I'll just get into a coughing fit. So I got to keep my voice a little bit lower than I did in the first period. Shot on. Bobrovsky saves. Just pulling it up here. Here we go. Jackson says, come on, y'all, smash that like button like your mama taught you right. Welcome Home by Coheed and Cambria is my lifeblood. Much love. Go Leafs go. Oh, Justin. Monster Scrub 1708. If you want a good rock band that is awesome, check out The Warning. The Warning, great group of 3 sisters from Mexico. I'm into that. Let's go. Canadian Girl 83 just joining the stream. Who scored for the Leafs? That'd be Dakota Joshua and Nick Waugh off a Troy Stetcher shot. They were, both guys on the third line. Oh, and it looks like Scott Lawton just drew a penalty. Look at that. You get things going in the offensive zone, and Aaron Ekblad just whining his way to the box. Underrated. Aaron Ekblad whines a lot. Aaron Ekblad has big baby vibes. I'm just teasing. I'm salty because he was really good in this series against Leafs last year. He's a really good defenseman. Salty. Justin Smith says, I don't know how Steve doesn't lose his voice every other day from that screaming. In the playoffs, I think it becomes an issue for him. Like, he's doing a stream every other night. And, Steve, he's never at below an 8.5 out of 10. Like, I'm giving you, my voice is at a 6.5 out of 10 right now, super, super chill. I know it's a Tuesday night in December, so we can be super chill. This would not be appropriate levels of excitement for the playoffs. And it's not that I'm not excited, it's just that I don't have it. I just do not have it. But yeah, Steve Steve is I think, especially you consider too, he's doing those streams. Sometimes they go to overtime. And then the next day, he's doing a 2-hour podcast. And you saw it with Jesse in October, man. Jesse's voice was it's kind of sexy, actually. He had that raspy thing, Remember the 18-inning game? That was insane. Yeah, Jesse could barely talk after that. Lisa Moe giving me a little bit of love. Adam's voice surviving the stream with the candles. Thank you. Appreciate you. Adriana says, I like the stream because of peer pressure. Well, that's good. Bullying works. If you're bullying for the right cause, like these people that are anti-bullying. No. Bullying is a very effective tactic. It's just got to be, push you in the right way. Francois Lebel. Best live show I ever went to was in Montreal at the Forum with this obscure rock band called Queen. I've never heard of them. I love Queen. I hope you saw them with Freddie Mercury. I was obviously, I was born, I think it was 3 when Freddie Mercury died. But I had all the Queen live DVDs, the Live 8 DVDs, their Queen live at Wembley, Queen live in Montreal. I bought them all because I love Queen. Love them. And they're one of the best live acts ever. And Reinhardt. Ooh. Wow. And Reinhardt is alone. And he scores. Man, what the hell kind of coverage was that? Holy smokes. After such a good period, the Leafs just friggin' what was that? You were able to get the puck into the corner. You're a man up, and nobody's out front covering 13. Are you effing kidding me, guys? What's happening here? So look, Lundell carries the puck up to Reinhardt, to Lundell. They get it over into the corner. Everybody goes into the corner except for Nyes, and nobody picks up Reinhardt. Guys, that's embarrassing. That's embarrassing. Now Matthew Nyes owes us a goal. That's embarrassing. Just 3 guys standing around in the corner not doing anything. Nobody goes for the puck. Are we kidding? Come on, guys. Insane. Oh, that's frustrating. Because that goal doesn't need to happen. The Panthers didn't beat you there. You beat yourself. That friggin' drives me crazy. I hope they score here. Go, McMahon. Come on. Oh, nice little play. Bobby McMahon's been active tonight. People are saying, it's 5 forwards. They got to get used to it. I don't know. Have these guys never played defense in Pee Wee? Come on. You don't know vaguely what a defenseman does? I don't believe that. Everybody in hockey has played every position. It's crazy. Panthers play without Barkey and Kachuk is like Adam's face. Baby face without any growth. That's right. Well, I don't grow very good facial hair normally, so I was happy with how that mustache went. 4:15 left in the period. 33 seconds left on this power play. Berube is putting the first unit back out there who conceded a goal on this very power play. Yuck and poo and tomato, tomato, tomato. McCabe is out there with them. Yeah, because Berube's had enough of their crap. Oh, and Nylander with a nothing shot. Why did you do that? Now, here we go. We got another 3-on-1. Power play's about to end. Nylander falls in the corner. McCabe is actually able to pin Reinhart, which is what a defenseman does. I don't know, guys. Maybe watch a little tape. Unbelievable. They should be up 2-0 right now. Outrageous. That's frustrating. Robert Bett says, the way the Leafs played at the beginning of the year and how they're playing now makes me wonder why I'm a fan, but I can't help it. I love the Leafs. Amen. Amen. Now, guys, I'm going to tell you this. When we go to intermission, we are going to play some clips. And I'm going to take a little longer with intermissions than I normally do because I gotta save the voice because I don't want to be hacking into your speakers all the way through the third period. How could you let Aaron Ekblad celebrate or be happy? You can't. That is wrong. Oh, it drives me crazy. So anyway, just so you know, if it says the stream will come back shortly, it will. It'll just be me doctoring myself. Lawton wins the faceoff draw. Benoit down low. Lorentz fighting for it. Joseph Wall covers it up. 3:12 to go in the second period. Ian Ball, I chose Nylander on my bets tonight. Quite obviously, that was a mistake. You know what's crazy about Will? William Nylander can look completely out of it, and then, over the course of a couple shifts, turn it on and be the best player on the ice. I think we kind of need that. Tonight would be good. Tonight would be good. Do not let this go to overtime. Score and win this game clean. We need a regulation win for the Toronto Maple Leafs. 2 regulation wins in a row. Can you imagine? It's hard to imagine. Oh, the Leafs just gave it up again. Oh, my God. What? I think that was over the net. Oh, just getting run over right now. Fourth line has been out there way too long. Here you go. Stetcher bringing the puck up. He's going to fire it over to Lawton, who's going to get the puck deep. Robertson is in there while the Leafs change. Ekblad stick tied up. Oh, but Ekblad kind of put his stick into Robertson's shoulder, so I don't feel bad for Aaron Ekblad. I don't ever feel bad for Aaron Ekblad, actually. Ekman-Larsson shoots. Joshua. Down low to Waugh. It's in the Panthers' offensive zone in the corner. Shot by Riley. That gets through. Nobody can get the rebound. Oh, Nick Waugh almost had it. Joshua back out to Oliver Ekman-Larsson to an open Morgan Riley. Shot. And this third line for the Toronto Maple Leafs, man, they got something going. They got something going. I'm liking it. I'm liking it. I'm liking it. That's what we need. That's the response you need. Maybe just throw the third line out there with Riley and Ekman-Larsson when you have a power play. They seem to want it. Victor Mentos says, still hoping for a good night. Habs also losing, LOL. Well, that'd be nice. I'm Beast says, is this the best third line of the Matthews era? I don't know that it is. I think probably whatever line Kadri was doing back in the day, but it's a pretty good one. They certainly haven't had a good third line since Kadri was traded. They just could never get it going. You know, that Alex Kerfoot experiment just didn't work. Understood what they were doing, trying to do anyway. Stetcher down low. And it's not hard enough. And so the puck will come out. And we got a Reinhart versus McCabe battle here. Reinhart comes up with it. This first line for the Panthers moves very quickly. Domi pushing his way through. Mikkola gives him a nice face wash. Trying to bait Domi into taking a dumb penalty. Hopefully Max is smarter than that. Nyes behind the net. He's knocked over. This game is getting a little chippy now. Marchand throws the puck up. Mikkola gets the puck in. I hate how many Panthers numbers I just know off by heart. We've just played them so many damn times. I don't even have to do any research before these games. And it's getting shippy towards the end of the second period. Nyes and Tavares are out there. Along with Easton Cowan, I think Nyes is going to change. And the puck is iced, I think. Wow. Okay. Grandpa's Gaming says, I have Matthews in my pool. He's been horrific. Played god-awful for 90% of the year. Yeah, I have Matthews, too. He was my first pick. I was his 6th overall pick, and I got Matthews, and I was so excited. Thank God I chose Leo Carlson and Connor Bedard. Let me tell you, they have been carrying my team. I picked Michkov. I picked Demidov. I'm like, oh, I'm going to be on fire. I had Panarin, Bouchard, Jake Sanderson, Erik Karlsson, and I picked up Oliver Ekman-Larsson after the draft on waivers, and he's been my best defenseman. It's kind of crazy. Hockey's a weird game. Here comes AJ Greer. Shot! Big save by Joseph Woll. It's clean, but a big save nonetheless. We haven't been getting saves like that all year as Leaf fans. You know that. You know that. Chris says Panthers have 9 regulars out. Yikes. Well, the Leafs have a lot of regulars out too, and important ones. You still got to play the games. Ask me if I feel bad for the Panthers. Ask me. Alex Mercer. Bonjour, Adam. Do you do bilingual streams? No. I can barely speak French. Well, I can't speak French. I know several words. But I, weirdly enough, have enough of an understanding of the language that I have a basic idea most of the time if I'm in Quebec and somebody's speaking French of what they're talking about. I don't catch every nuance, but I'm like, I know the general gist of the conversation. By the way, the period is over. And the stupid Panthers score a stupid shorthanded goal because the Leafs couldn't do stupid coverage in their own zone. Stupid. Now, I'm going to go away for the intermission so I can rest the voice because I want to make it through this last period. But here's what I'm going to ask you to do. Stick around. Maddie, what do we got going on? Maddie? What are we playing? Oh, is it time for Vancouver to trade Quinn Hughes? I'm going to leave you with that STP clip, and I will see you at the beginning of the third period. And a big shout out to Matt, dropping 5 SDPN memberships. Yeah, Matt, let's go. Love you all. See you now, the Vancouver Canucks lost a bit of a heartbreaker to the LA Kings. They called it a low event game. Kings had 23 shots. Vancouver had 20. There's some chat in Vancouver circles about, Quinn Hughes' body language after this game. And frankly, I got to ask you the question, right? Like, there's stuff out there about Kiefer Sherwood and he's going to cost a first round pick and blah, 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 blah. They are selling, guys. They're selling.
They're selling so hard that Connor Garland was out of the lineup and Elliot Friedman was like, he's not getting traded.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I didn't think he was, Elliot. Now I'm asking questions. Sorry.
So my question to you guys is, like, if you're Quinn Hughes, when do you call it? Because it feels like everybody's waiting for him to do it.
He has no trade protection.
Yeah.
Like, do we see a PK situation where they just decide to move him and they get something?
And that was a move
against his will.
That was a move
Interesting.
That the fan base hated and people outside the fan base hated. I hated the Subban trade for Montreal. I thought it was short-sighted and stupid and stubborn. It ended up being really, really, really good for them.
Mm-hmm.
Not right away, necessarily. Weber was good for them right away. Subban won he didn't win the Norris. He got them to the Cup final.
Weber did.
Well, they both did.
Subban
They both eventually
the
did.
Preds to the Cup final.
Right.
And everyone's like, you look stupid.
Yeah.
And then, Weber
Got him to the Cup final.
Got him to the Cup final and was also better for longer than Subban, which was the unexpected part because he's older.
Mm-hmm. But the trade at the time seemed impossible to win.
Yes.
You're trading Norris Trophy winner who's young and you're getting in Shea Weber who you don't know how long he's going to last. and then, like you said, goes there and gets them to the Cup final in Nashville, and then it's like, okay, disaster trade, and then in the end, everything's kind of fine.
Yeah. Yeah.
But that trust that they lost with the fan base.
Yes.
There are people who've never come back from that.
It's true.
It's like, you lost me at that moment, and I don't want to be a fan of that team anymore.
The difference was, if I remember correct, the Habs were not in this position. They had come off of like several pretty good seasons. I mean, Carey Price was obviously Carey Price. I want to say he was coming off of the Hart, or a year removed from the Hart. They were in a pretty good spot. And I think the argument was they didn't need to do that. Whereas the Canucks kind of need to do that. Especially, like, Subban wanted to stay there.
Exactly.
Quinn, there's some questions.
Subban, it felt personal.
Yeah, it was personal.
I mean, it was.
It was.
Yeah.
It was Bergevin going, no, I have the biggest dick here.
Yeah. And
that's what it was. It was total on Bergevin's side. Oh, he's got a personal. Remember the reports out of Montreal? Well, he's got a personal company and he goes and has a brand, and we don't like that.
It would have been better if they just came out and they were like, we're bigger fans of the way Shea Weber plays hockey.
How great would that have been?
It would have aged a lot better, because hot damn, like, playoff performer, scores a shitload of goals, Man Mountain. Remember Babcock with the Man Mountain?
Yeah.
We think he's going to age better. I guess that's not really something you could say. That's something that ends up killing you if you're wrong. But all that to say, we're doing a retrospective on that. I think Canucks fans are going to hate it when Quinn gets traded, because it is when and not if. But they're smart hockey fans. They'll all understand it. You just need to maximize it.
That would be trading him sooner rather than later, because that's when the maximum value is because of the contract, right? You're getting Quinn Hughes, a top 5 defenseman in the league, at $7.8 million.
Man.
You want that for 1.5 seasons as opposed to 1 season or a trade deadline run. So if you're asking them to maximize this deal, it's do it soon.
What if there's a conditional pick? Or maybe we don't do it that way anymore. But what if it's like a first plus, and then if he signs an extension, it's another first?
Yeah.
That's how it used to get done. I don't really know if it gets done that way anymore. Like, he's such an exceptional player that, like, does a team trade for him even if there's no extension in place?
It depends on when you're doing it. If you're doing it after July 1st, then if you are the acquiring team, you have to guarantee that extension comes, because it's eligible. So if I'm trading for him, I better get the assurance that he is staying here. But if it happens in the now times, no, because you're getting Quinn Hughes for this year and next year. So you make that deal.
There's a world here where the Canucks make out like bandits, and they will not have a player like Quinn Hughes, but they do come out of it better eventually.
On the Canucks end, Kiefer Sherwood, Nick Kypreos is saying that he's looking for a 5-year contract in excess of $5 million. In a cap world, that's close to 110 next season, if not actually 110, because it is adjustable. I know they've announced the numbers, but they can always adjust up, and they're making way more money than they've thought that they would, so they're going to do fine. Is Kiefer Sherwood at less than 5% of your cap doable?
That's really not unreasonable at all.
I would like somebody to score like 20 goals for that amount of money.
Okay.
Like,
he's going to do it.
Is he?
Last year, he scored 19.
Okay.
And that was a normal season. Well, a normal-ish. He seems to be growing into the role.
Yeah.
And let me ask you this. Is Kiefer Sherwood playing the role he's playing with the Canucks on a great team? Because this is the thing. Like, is Kiefer Sherwood on a Stanley Cup winning team, let's say on the Avs, is he anything above a third liner?
Well, third line can win you a cup.
I agreed, but I'm just asking, what's your money allocation per line? On Dallas, which is one of the lowest loaded forward groups in the league,
Where's Kiefer Sherwood fit in that line? That's my question.
He doesn't
the Canucks
fit
are bad.
in at $5 million. Like, to me, Kiefer Sherwood is the perfect guy you go get at the trade deadline for 1.5. I'll pay the sun and the moon. I'll pay everything for him for this little playoff run. But to sign him, that sounds like one of those mistakes you make and you look back on those contracts and you're like, you gave Kiefer Sherwood $6 million
Right.
for over 6 years to be on your third line. Like, that to me is crazy.
I know. But
Cap going up.
he's also a bit of a unicorn. Like, there aren't a ton of players who play like him where they can give you X amount of goals and X amount of hits.
And the thing that happens with those guys is the goal part falls off.
They get overpaid.
They do.
They get over.
Yeah.
He's 30. Like, this isn't a player who's been doing this
30?
Yeah. He's a late bloomer. Late bloomer.
No, but it's
I never would have guessed.
he's not blooming. He's kind of he's kind of squeezing into the mud and just kind of being what he is now. Like, he's settling into a career.
What?
I'm shocked by that.
Yeah, that he's 30. Yeah.
He's not 23 and growing into a flower.
But I think he's figured out that they're the most wanted and least available quality in the NHL is gigantic physical winger that can score. Tom Wilson, Matthew Olivier, Matthew Nyes I'd put in there. Who else? Like, there are so few true blue power forward options.
Tom Wilson, someone who's been doing it for 15 years.
Yes.
Matthew Nyes, 23 years old.
Yep.
Like,
I agree.
He's a guy who's figured it out this year, and I'm willing to pay for that to give him the 6 years over 6 or 5.5.
That's $30 million, basically. Yeah,
that's crazy.
30. Yeah, I think that's a lot too. But again, if he continues to perform at that rate, and you're signing Kiefer Sherwood till he's 36 or 37 because he's going to be 31 when the contract kicks in.
This to me sounds like Nashville made a mistake.
Oh, fuck.
Oh my God.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you think?
Yeah.
They just let him walk, didn't they?
Yeah.
A trade?
Yeah. No, but like, they'll bring him back.
Yeah.
And Barry Trotz makes a mistake in signing him.
Yeah, he was the straw that stirred the... Yeah. Okay.
He was the straw that stirred the... That's funny.
So this season and last season combined, Radko Gudas and Paul Cotter are tied for 10th in hits at 310. Then it's 330, 339, 339, 362, 366, 371, 377. Will Cooley at 393. Kiefer Sherwood, 568.
Wow. Wow. Wow.
And he's scoring the way he's scoring.
Yeah.
He's definitely got more goals than like any of those guys. The guys in this conversation are Kiefer Sherwood, Will Cooley, Matthew Olivier, who, gives you less offense, but some than he provides.
Yep.
He's the top heavyweight in the league. Nathan Walker, Jack McBain, Yakov Trenin, Luke Shen, Garnet Hathaway, Marcus Foligno. Marcus Foligno, to me, strikes as like the only guy who's even sort of close. I don't know. Maybe you overpay for a unicorn.
Can I give you 2 stats?
Yes.
Hit me in the face.
1, Kiefer Sherwood right now in his average time on ice, highest of his entire career. He's playing 17 minutes and 44 seconds for the Canucks per game. His previous career high was last season with the Canucks, 14:53. Okay?
Yep.
Other stat, where we started this whole show, shooting percentage. Kiefer Sherwood
here we go.
is shooting 24%.
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
And he has 12 goals in 26 games.
Yeah, but even last year, 13.5 isn't like insane.
No, that's good. That's career average. He shot 12 before. He shot 11, shot 9. 13 is doable. That's 19 goals and 21 assists.
I think you can be pretty confident that's a double-digit goal scorer. Like, even the last season in Nashville, like 10 goals as a 12-minute-a-night player. Like, I am confident he can give you... I'm confident he's a very good middle six player. I think he can play on your second line.
I loved him in the playoffs.
Spot work on the first line, and is probably overqualified for third line, if that makes sense.
He's playing a lot of minutes, even on the Canucks third line currently. He's getting the minutes. Like, the time on ice is different because obviously it's deployment and everything.
And Garland and Besser have both been down at different points this year.
They're swapping in and out, and like, things look different than what's on paper. I always say that about the Leafs. But I think if you were paying him $5 to $6 million and he's putting up 15 goals for you for the next 6 seasons until he's 36. You would be very unhappy with that contract on your team, Steve.
Yeah.
If he's a Leaf and for $5.5 million and he puts up 15 goals, you'd be screaming at him like you scream at Michelli.
You know what, Jesse?
Or Callie, you got mad at Kelly Yarncroke. Wow, too much.
Like,
His
imagine
his next deal is going to be the Optimist's curse. Because
what's that?
I look at him and I go, but what if it works out?
Steve, if he was a Leaf, you would be pissed. Every game.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong. The stands would be full of Sherwood jerseys, and they'd be 25 and 30, like come trade deadline. Yeah, I understand, but the price someone pays for him is going to be genuinely funny.
This year, to pay for him, like 1.5, it's crazy.
Man,
like, give them a first.
If there's a guy on the
$1.5 million,
if there's a guy on the Canucks I'm willing to pay the Kiefer Sherwood price for, it's Connor Garland. I love that.
Well,
player.
there's a lot more proof of concept.
Yes.
The type of offensive player he can be.
I know he's quote unquote undersized, but he doesn't play like
who
that.
gives a shit?
That guy rocks.
There's a few guys where it doesn't matter, and he's one of them.
Yeah, you want a first rounder? I'll give you a first rounder for Connor Garland all day.
Hello, everybody. We are back. We're back. And I am going to try to give it to you the best way I can for the third period. For whatever reason, I thought I was getting over this cold. And then this afternoon, my throat started to like flare up. It's not like, you know, when you get a sore throat, but it's dry. This is like sore throat, but it's like in there. It feels like somebody's just poking you. Anyway, I've been coughing a lot. I'm going to try not to. Looks like things are bad for the Montreal Canadiens, which is a shame because I would like things to be bad for the Canadiens and the Senators. They're playing each other tonight. One of the teams has to win, I guess. But I was hoping that both of them would hate it and leave and go, you know what? We got to trade all our good players to the Leafs. Hasn't happened yet. Has not happened. By the way, the Canadiens, it's interesting because, you know, they had a really great start, but they're, you know, and obviously I know they thumped the Leafs, but that's not really it's not an impressive thing. There are some questions in the Montreal media about, is this team really this good, or were they at an October darling? And, you know, plenty of teams become an October darling and some stay that way the whole season. Other teams fade. And I think the Montreal Canadiens, as we all know, need a second center. I think that would help. Somebody to dish to Demidov. Like, you think people are like, oh, Demidov's struggling. I'm like, yeah, but like, who's he playing with? Like, get him a center. So we'll see what happens. 19:32 left in the third period. We are off. We are rolling. The Leafs had a good second period until they gave up the dumbest shorthanded goal of all time. It should still, and I need to stress this to you, Leaf fans, it should still be 2-0. But the shots on goal are even. God bless. Imagine telling yourself this morning, hey, you're going to watch a Leaf game tonight, and the shots through first two periods are going to be even. You'd be like, what year am I watching? Nylander in front. Shot. Tavares. Oh, it just goes wide. Cowan out to Ekman Larson, who gets it back down. I couldn't spit that out. Nothing. Tavares down low with Cowan. Both guys really good at digging along the boards. Cowan comes away with the puck. There's like 3 or 4 Panthers giving support there. And they're going to switch off. By the way, both goals tonight have come from the third line. Dakota Joshua from Bobby McMahon, and then Nick Waugh had a really great tip in towards the end of the first period off a Troy Stetcher floater. So the Leafs' third line, looks like they might have something there. It's nice to see, honestly. Gives the first and second line a little bit of a break. Although I have to say, if Nylander is hurt, like they're showing it on the replay from practice, it would be awfully nice if the Matthews line could step up and start scoring some goals. It'd be cool. Myers muscles Marchand off the puck. Leafs break out. Nick Waugh. Bobby McMahon collects, gets it deep. Nick Waugh chases Rodriguez. He's going to beat him physically. It's nice to see Leafs winning some board battles here. They do have size up front, especially with some of the injuries that the Panthers have sustained. Robert Betts said, should a bunch of good old Canadian boys together get a couple of cases of beer and we can have that Milan arena built in this weekend? Hey, Chris Johnson just wrote an article for The Athletic along with Michael Russo. So the ice is supposed to be 200 feet lengthwise, right? Apparently it's like 4.5 feet short or something like that, or 3.5 feet short. So it's 196 feet and a half. What the hell's going on in Italy, man? You knew this was coming for like a decade. What are we doing here? How do you miss 4 feet on an arena? By the way, John Tavares really almost scored there. Great. Oh, just off the toe of Bobrovsky. Oh no, it hit the side of the net. Bobrovsky did not get his toe on that. Let's not give kudos where it's not deserved, okay? Matthews wins the draw. OEL and Riley are out there with him. It's Matthews, Domi, and Matthews up front. Oh, Oliver Ekman-Larsson tried to center it to Domi. Domi's tip went high. Leafs giving good offensive zone pressure here. Panthers able to clear it. Mikko Mikkola carries the puck to center. Joseph Wool corrals, gets the puck to the blue line. Domi gives chase. Gonna have I'm having coughing fits, guys. So if you're just tuning in, I'm struggling a little bit with the voice, but I'm gonna make it through. Because you know what? There are harder jobs to do when you're sick. Let's be honest. Oh, Nick Robertson screwed up Jake McCabe there. I don't know why he touched that puck, but I think he thought McCabe was leaving it for him, and he's most certainly was not. Stetcher and McCabe, by the way, were thrown together before the Pittsburgh game by Berube. They never even practiced together. And Stetcher said it went well because they just yelled at each other the whole time. Told each other what was going to happen. Gave each other the heads up. You know? Good old communication, imagine. Warrior Womp says that the power of dad grunts will get us through this game. It has to. We don't have a choice. I'm going to dad grunt the hell out of this stream. Easton Cowan along the boards. Tries to get it up to William Nylander, who crosses the red line. Tavares gets it deep. Cowan giving chase. Trying to beat out the Panthers. Puck goes by them both. And out come the Panthers. Through center ice. Bennett, who is not really, who's come on actually pretty strong lately. Had a rough start, but I think he's got a lot of, I think he's at 7 points in his last 4 games. Kind of valuable to them. Kind of need him to be a big deal. Although I guess you're not really paying him for regular season games, are you? Imagine, by the way, that I told you in October that the Leafs and the Panthers will play in December, and the loser will be the last place team in the Eastern Conference. You would have laughed me out of the room. And yet here we are. In the next 14 and a half minutes, we're going to know who's last place in this conference. There is something to play for today, and it's called pride. And I think the Leafs are going to the box. It's Dakota Joshua, and he doesn't like the call. It might be an even-up one. The Leafs did get a power play in the second period. He is beaking at the ref. I don't know what happened here. I'd like to know. So he gets by Mackie Samoskevich, who kind of hits him in the face, and then Mackie Samoskevich just falls and takes his own helmet off. What are we doing here? Are they kidding? That's a bad call. That's a horrific call. Mackie Samoskevich took himself down and took his own helmet off, and Dakota Joshua gets an interference call. That's effing trash, guys. That's an embarrassing call, and I hope the ref gets a call from the league and goes, what the hell? Way to not pay attention. This is how you know refs call the outcome. They never call the actual issue. They call it after they see somebody come down. Because if you were calling the play, you wouldn't have called that, but you called the outcome. Leafs have got to kill this. This is a big deal. They've done a good job of killing penalties lately. We need that to continue. It's the Panthers' first power play of the game. Marchand tries to get it to Aaron Ekblad, but he's Aaron Ekbad. Oh, no, that was Seth Jones. I was waiting so long to make that terrible joke. 13:49, the Leafs actually kicked the puck out. 35 seconds gone on the power play. That was a horrific call. You know, here's the thing. Berube, he's got to have a chat with the have a chat with the official after this. Matthews is out there with Nick Waugh, and it looks like they're going to have a 2-on-1. Matthews has got to get it to Waugh. Did Bobrovsky stop that? Or did Waugh fire that wide? That was a beautiful play. Oh, we needed a revenge shorthanded goal for what they did to us in the second period. Almost had one. Matthews with a great play. Oh, Ekblad with a shot. Reinhart versus Riley in the corner. Riley killing penalties. What? Really? All right. And Sam Bennett comes in offside because he's bad at hockey. Sorry. I have to do this. Sorry if there's any Cats fans. I must do this to you. So what happens here? Matthews comes down, gets it to Wah. Oh, it was just a great save by Bobrovsky. Great save by Bubtitsky. If you guys get that joke, then you've watched the NHL a long time. Man, Nick Wah. If he just fired it a couple inches higher, that's in the back of the net. Stetcher fires the puck around. Not hard enough. Goes directly to Aaron Ekblad. Oh, Ekblad feeds and almost created an opportunity there. But Jeff Petry's unable to get a handle on it. Jeff Petry, by the way, having a bit of a renaissance in Florida. Oh, Jake McCabe just took one, I think, off the hand, and he looks like he's in pain. Here comes Dakota Joshua out of the box, driving the net, using the butt. Power of the booty. $11:59 left in the third. In 12 minutes, we will know who the last place team in the Eastern Conference truly is. Is it Tirana or is it Florida? We'll find out. Cowan all over the Panthers tonight. Not a lot of scoring chances, but he's been digging. Nylander threw a hit on Nico Mikkola. I respect that. You know Nylander's engaged when he's doing something like that. By the way, Wes Richard jumping in. I've missed 9 or 10 of the last streams. I've been dealing with some health issues. Just wanted to stop by and say I miss you guys so much. Hoping to be back 100% soon. Love you. Go Leafs go. Wes Richard, and then drops 10 SDPN memberships because he's a maniac. Wes, whatever health issues you're going through, just know the Gripper Nation loves you. You come back whenever you're ready, sir. Thank you so much for jumping in, though. It's great to hear from you. Gripper Nation loves its own. We take care of our own. Colorado Rockies 1976 says Marchand and Bennett should be nowhere near Team Canada. I got to be honest with you. Marchand has had a great season. Go look up his stat line. And the Panthers have a lot of injuries. Marchand's been a saving grace for them. So I disagree with you there. And Bennett, are you paying him for regular season games or are you paying him for high leverage games? Delta Go Vista dropping 5 SDPN memberships. Thank you so much. By the way, if you're joining SDP VIP for the first time, Friday mornings is when we drop our 4th episode. So you're going to get an extra episode every week. If you upgrade, if you're on YouTube, and you can do this on Apple and Spotify as well. If you upgrade to the top tier, you get SDP VIP ad-free, which gives you every Steve Dangle podcast ad-free and early. You get it earlier than anybody else. And here comes Bobby McMahon. He's on a breakaway. Oh, and Bobrovsky makes another save with the blocker. He didn't even really have to move that much. I have to give, that's Bobby McMahon and that blazing speed of his. Leafs turn it over. Shot on the net, and Bobrovsky is able to hold that one too. The third line for the Leafs is cooking tonight. Tons of opportunities. 2 of the goals. Maybe they can get a third one. Delta Go Vista. Woo! Sens win. How about that battle for the Eastern basement? It's tight. It's a battle of the bad. The toilet bowl, they call it. Lisa Mo says, healthy times ahead for Gripper Nation. Exactly. Wishing you all good health. By the way, can I just say, since we're in commercial break, how exciting is it that it is now December? Can I just tell you, I love December. I love December. I'm a summer person. I like the summer. I like the spring. I like when it gets warmer, whatever. But if I'm going to love a winter month, it's going to be December. And you know what? This year, I'm also going to love February. February 2026 with the Olympics. Oh, yeah, baby. Oh, yeah. Give me 1 sec, by the way. I'm just going to blow my nose. I know that sounds gross, but like if he keeps going this way, I might have to be like the weird guy in class who's trying to put it back. It's not a good look. Give me a sec. You're going to hear me. I'm a very loud nose blower. 1 sec. Oh, I can breathe again. Oh. Did you hear the trumpets? Did you hear it? Yeah. Jake says, is this game on Sportsnet or TSN tonight? It's on TSN. Pretzel Hunt, was that a goal horn? Everybody always laughs at how noisy my nose blowing is, but I feel like if you're going to blow your nose, why don't you give it 100%? Like if you're going to do anything, you should give it 100% effort, but especially blowing your nose because it's the pathway to you breathing, and also post-nasal drip is not cool because then it gets into your lungs and then you start coughing. We don't like that. We're not post-nasal drip fans here at Gripper Nation. Maddie said you should also get a nasal spray, but Maddie, that's for people who are congested. I'm not congested anymore. Now it's just coming out. It's gross. It's gross. Canadian Girl 83 dropping 5 SDPN memberships. Let's go. Remember, if you did get an SDPN membership, thank the person who gave it to you because you get to try out VIP and we love you. VIP is actually a blast and you will love the comment section. Our Haruska says, my boyfriend says you look like Buzz Lightyear. You know, that's not the first time I've heard that because I got the big chin and cheeks. Buzz Lightyear to the rescue. I got to work on that. I can't do it with a nasally voice. Buzz Lightyear does not, like, I sound a little like Aziz Ansari's character from Parks and Rec right now. Herzer, love all of you at SDPN. Happy holidays. Yeah, baby. We love you too. Even Maddie says I love you. She doesn't say that to just anybody. Matthew's really going for it there. Tried to put a backhand on, wanted Bobrovsky to cover it up, but not enough Leafs around to make him do that. Leafs could use an offensive zone faceoff here. That's what they got to be aiming for. Here comes Max Domi with Matthew Knies. It's a 2-on-1. Domi with a shot. Bobrovsky with the save, and they get the offensive zone faceoff. What did I tell you? That's what you need. In that position, that's what you need. Somebody said, Adam, you look like the Canadian Kyle Brandt. Hey, I'll take that. I'll take that. Robert Bet 1133. Habs lose, Bruins lose, Leafs win would be the best night, wouldn't it? Did the Bruins lose tonight? Maddie, can you check that out for me? Did the Bruins lose? I'm looking. Canadian. So Habs are losing. Bruins are also losing. They lost to the Red Wings. Ooh. Hey, and you know who else is lost? The flippin' Lightning, baby. So that's Canadians, Bruins, and Lightning down. The Leafs should take advantage here. They need to take advantage of this. By the way, in the other battle for the basement happening in the Western Conference tonight, I thought you guys might want to know. The Predators and the Flames are playing in a game, and the Predators are kicking their ass. 4-0 Preds over the Flames. Yeah. Flames are going to they're going to goof their way into Gavin McKenna. And you know what? Good. I have a soft spot for Calgary. I lived there for a couple years. It was the first NHL game I ever saw. So I do love the Flames I'm very grateful to the Flames because they introduced me to hockey in a way that I never had been. And I want to say this. I feel like they need a first overall pick. They've never had one in their entire franchise history. It's time to get some studs back in Calgary. You know, they kind of played second fiddle to Edmonton for too long. They had some stars, Gaudreau, Tkachuk, Lindholm when he was playing well. Great defense. Really good goaltending. If Markstrom was having a good year. Sometimes he doesn't. I don't know. To me, it feels like, hey, go get some star players, and when your new arena's built, stock them with stars. Or Flames, as the case may be. Austin Matthews wins the face-off draw. They stayed out there over the commercial timeout. Riley flips the puck down low. Domi able to retrieve. Leafs know this is a big one. Oliver Ekman-Larsson shot on net is not able to be redirected, but it does hit Bobrovsky's pads through traffic. Domi steals the pass from the Panthers. Riley tried to find Matthews at the side of the net. Puck flipped over his stick. Matthews now digging in the corner. Knies joins him. Puck gets out to the blue line. OEL keeps it in. Domi, that's what I don't like. Max Domi forces passes sometimes, and that time was a forced pass. All he has to do is shovel it down low. I know hockey happens in a very quick amount of time, but these are professionals. You got to get that puck down low. It cost them the offensive zone there. it's pretty clear that the Leafs have a hole in their top 6. And it's not that Domi can't fill it. It's just I want to see Domi be as consistent as possible. And he was pretty good against Pittsburgh. And he's been pretty good tonight. If he can be the stopgap there, then whoa, here we go! Leafs score! And it's Scott Laughton! A great play by Nick Robertson getting the puck to the net. Because what happens when you go to the net? Good things! And Scott Laughton is able to corral that rebound. The Leafs are up 3-1 with 7:42 to go. And guess what? They're out shooting an opponent! Ah! Crazy. Scotty Lots, baby. And that's all Nick Robertson beating Gus Forsling to that puck. Lorentz gets it to the net. And look at that, Scott Laughton. Give Nick Robertson a lot of credit here for beating out Gus Forsling, out-muscling a guy who's much bigger than him. And let me say this. Berube deserves a ton of credit for keeping Robertson in that lineup and making things happen. Robertson's skating has improved dramatically in the last 2.5 years. That used to be his Achilles heel. He is now literally like it's one of the best parts about his game. Now here come back the Florida Panthers. Rodriguez tries to get it out front to who is that? Oh my God! Why am I blanking on that name? Oh, it's Boquist, of course. Cowan flips the puck by. He's got Philip Myers with him. Philip Myers, the forechecker. I also have to kind of wonder what. I think Easton Cowan was just as surprised to see Philip Myers there as I was. Hey, Leafs are up 3-1, 6:52 left to go in the third. Can they make it 4-1? LOL. Remember, the winner of this game moves to second last place in the Eastern Conference, which means the loser is the last place team in the Eastern Conference. We can't let it be us. Come on, boys. The third line for the Toronto Maple Leafs has been a real highlight tonight. 2 of the 3 goals have come from them. All depth goals for the Leafs tonight, by the way. Nick Waugh, Dakota Joshua, and Scott Laughton. We love that. Rennie says, Ric Flair, woo, intensifies. See, that's why I was saving my voice for the end of the game. I got the lozenge. Oh, shot by OEL. He's still looking for that 10th point in 10 games. He's on a 9-game point streak. It's tied for second in Leafs history for a defenseman. Oh. People are saying, Lonely Plucker says, I hated the Laughton trade, but I'm starting to like him more and more this year. I hated the Laughton trade too. And I'll tell you, where it really clicked for me was the playoffs. I thought Scott Laughton reminds me a lot about the Jake McCabe acquisition. Jake McCabe was good when he started with the Leafs. Like, they got him, but he didn't quite understand the system, and then they had a bunch of injuries and blah, 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 blah. He was asked to play roles he shouldn't have. I liked him, though. The next season, first season with Berube, I was like, I am in love with this man. Marry me, Jake McCabe. Domi stick breaks at the worst moment. And Scott Laughton, man, when he came back, baby, he's like, they've missed him this year. Excuse me, I burped on Mike. I'm sorry. Listen, I'm sick. You're going to have to forgive me. Justin Fisher said, when I said this should work, this is what I meant. He's right. Justin said behind the scenes here at work, he's like, listen, the Leafs lineup should work. I don't know why it isn't, but it should. And he's right. Scott Laughton has been a monster on the PK too. Anybody that's still telling you Scott Laughton's bad is probably not watching that much. And that's fine. Not everybody watches it as closely as we do. We're all kind of, if you're on this stream with me, you're a hardcore fan. Scott Laughton has been extraordinarily useful and given them a 4th-line center finally. They've never had a 3rd-line center that's been that great. They've never had a 4th-line center that's been that great. They got both this year. Now they just got to put it together. Play a little better on the defense, and I got to be honest, the defenses look pretty good tonight. I know that we're facing a very injured Panthers team, but you can only play the opponent who's ahead of you. Sedin Magic 15, are we looking at a world where the back-to-back champs miss the playoffs? I don't think so. They've got plenty of opportunity to turn this around. Tkachuk will be back in the next couple of weeks. Barkov might only be back for the playoffs. But everybody said, they're injured, they'll be fine. I agree with that. I don't see a world where they miss. But again, crazier things have happened. If you remember, the 1995 Devils went all the way to the Stanley Cup, won it, and missed the playoffs in 1996. It happens. And you know, you got to be honest too. The Panthers have played essentially 4 seasons of hockey in their last 3 seasons. So it sort of makes sense that bodies would start to break down, especially the kind of hockey they play. It's wearing and tearing on your opponent, but it's wearing and tearing on you too. Big block by Dakota Joshua on Aaron X sucks. And so anyway, I'm not surprised, honestly, that Dakota Joshua draws a penalty. Evan Rodriguez with an absolutely stupid thing. What is he thinking here? Okay, they're not gonna show it, but Aaron, what is Evan Rodriguez thinking? What was that? Right in front of the ref, too. The ref has to make that call. And the Leafs were owed a makeup call, let's be honest. Dakota Joshua should have never been in the box. If Florida misses the playoffs, it's not unprecedented, and it doesn't mean they're bad. If Florida misses the playoffs, it just means that they're injured. And here's the scary thought. The Florida Panthers get 4 months off instead of 2 to get ready for training camp. So let's say the Panthers actually miss the playoffs. That means they stop playing hockey roughly on April 15th. Then they don't have to get into a competitive game again until like preseason, which, I mean, how competitive is that? But you're not really in a real game that matters until October. That gives your body a chance to recover. I'm telling you, even if the Panthers miss this year, I'm still not underestimating the Panthers. I don't think they're going to miss, by the way. I mean, I think you're going to, losing Barkov sucks. No question. But I have a hard time believing a lineup with Marchand and Tkachuk and all of these character guys that they have, right down to, Mackie Samoskevich and AJ Greer, who really were factors. Once Luosterainen's back, he's out too. I'll go through the list, right? I don't know how many teams could survive this many starters. Tkachuk, Barkov, Kulikov, Gadjevich, Nosek, Luosterainen, Schwinn, and Verhaeghe. And Verhaeghe's due to come back anytime now. The rest of the guys are just out. Yeah, if they can get healthy, they'll be fine. Now, here's a question. Craig Berube made, after the Leafs gave up a shorthanded goal in their last power play because they're running 5 forwards. Craig Berube said, that's enough of that. And he put Jake McCabe out there with him. Because Ekman Larson and Riley are on the second power play unit. And he's like, I need someone who knows how to play some defense because you guys suck at defensive zone coverage. And they do. Reinhart should have never, ever scored that goal. Does he do it again? We got OEL out there. Oh, it's OEL Riley out there with Matthews, Tavares. Oh, Riley. Yeah. So they're playing 2 defense with Matthews, Nyes, and who else is out there? And it looks like, it's Matthews, Nylander, Tavares, along with Riley and Ekman Larson. Matthews throws a bit of a hit there. Florida controlling a lot of the play here. 1:30, so basically 90 seconds left in the power play. Matthews, puck up to Nylander. We got a 2-on-1 on the power play. Nylander, and Tavares cannot corral that pass. Leafs looking to get set up, but Nylander gives the puck immediately to Sam Bennett, and he's going to give that to whoever that is. I think it's Samoskevich. If I can't see the number, I can't tell. Long pass. Nyes with a partial break, and he's cross-checked by Bobrovsky, but he still steals the puck back. Leafs, I think, are changing because there's flipping nobody on the ice with him. Leafs playing the full defensive. It's hilarious. They're playing like a defensive power play. Get some chances, but don't get too crazy, boys. We're up 3-1. Let's let the power play out, and then with a minute to go, Florida's going to pull their goalie. That's what I think's happening. Nyes tried to change, but McCabe passed it to him. Nyes is exhausted, but he's going to stay out. Stetcher, cross the ice to Domi. To McCabe, shot at the net. There's a rebound. Nyes is unable to get it. He has got to be absolutely gassed right now. 19 seconds to go on this power play. Leafs going into defense mode, and it's a bad change. Here comes Marchand with a shot, and that's off of the glove of Joseph Wylde. 1:14 left to go, 4 seconds left to go on this power play, and the Leafs are going to end this power play in their own zone with Domi, Matthews, Tavares, McCabe, and Stetcher out there. Weird group of guys. Domi is not the guy I'd want out there defending a lead, but, you know, hey, whatever, I guess. 53 seconds to go. Jones. Net is empty for Florida. There's a rebound, and it goes right past Joseph Wylde. I don't think this is what the Leafs wanted for killing this off. I just don't feel like that's what the optimal lineup was. I don't know what the hell happened, but somebody's got to make a change here. 30 seconds to go. Wall's able to stop that puck up. Stetcher with it. Fires it to Domi. And the puck is away, and John Tavares is going to get the easiest goal of his career on the breakaway. Leafs win! And what's the score? 4-1, baby! Ah! You can't come back from that, Florida. Even though 4-1 leads are really PTSD for Leafs Nation. The Toronto Maple Leafs, with 18.6 seconds left to go, are able to score. On the open net, great play by Matthews to Tavares. Tavares puts it away, and the Toronto Maple Leafs are going to move up to second last in the conference. It's huge, baby. The Florida Panthers, in 17 seconds, will be the last place team in the Eastern Conference as all those fair weather Sunrise fans leave the building. I hope this gets clipped and shared on the internet. Ha ha! Let's flip and go, baby. Let's go. The Leafs looking good and out shooting an opponent? No. Now, listen, I know Florida has had a bunch of injuries, but have you considered this? I don't give a shit. Too bad. Got to play the game anyway. Oh, man, are you guys injured? Man, I can't imagine what that's like. At least we didn't cause any injuries. Rennie says, Kurt Angle, woo, intensifies. Let's go. Oh, wait, did the Leafs move up to third last in the division or in the conference? Baby. Cool man, Lanny. Chat, they cooked. Hope you feel better, man. Thank you, Lanny. Ladies and gentlemen, the Toronto Maple Leafs are now ahead of, are you ready? Let's go to the standings here that are not updated. The Toronto Maple Leafs not only move ahead of the Florida Panthers, who are dead last, but they also move up to the beyond the Buffalo Sabres. Look at that. Toronto Maple Leafs 1 point ahead of the Sabres, and they are 2 points behind the next Columbus Blue Jackets. To be in the playoffs currently, it's the Islanders and Flyers who are fighting for that last wildcard spot. You have to have 31 points. The Leafs have 27, so they have some ground that they need to make up, but let's go. Reed Miller dropping the how's it going? Reed, it's cooking, baby. Bald-ass Michael. What do the Panthers and the Titanic have in common? Iceberg dead ahead? They're sinking, baby. By the way, the Leafs have played, I think is this the first time all season that the Leafs, is this the first time all season that the Leafs have won 2 regulation games in a row? Is that what it is? You know? Come on, baby. Let's go. You know, I'm excited. I'm happy. Key306 says Florida missing the playoffs and creating a Bedard-McKenna connection in Chicago would be crazy. Oh, that's right. If Florida misses the playoffs, their first round pick is with Chicago, is it not? No. Is that true? Hey, Maddie, can you look up the Seth Jones trade? I'd like to go through that again. Fist Rock says, knock, knock, who's there? Live show in Sudbury? Stud Vegas? Man, I would love to. Grandpa's Gaming says, thanks, Adam. I got a split. Shout out to you. Thanks so much for hanging out with us tonight. I want to know this. Where is Florida's first round pick this year? And is it protected? What do we got? I would just die if the Florida Panthers finished last and Chicago got Gavin McKenna. Can you flip and imagine? Oh my God. That would just, It's a conditional first. It's a conditional first. Anyway. Well, whatever. They've won 2 cups in a row. They don't care. It would still be worse if the Leafs gave Boston that one. Lonely Plucker, 1 SDPN membership. El Hong says, YouTube just told me I'm in the top 0.1% of SDPN viewers. Yay. That's a hell yeah, man. That's more than a yay. That's a hell yeah. Beauty. Let's go. Leafs move to third last in the division. Well, is it in the division too? Yeah, third last in the division, third last in the conference. You know what? I want more for them, but they'll have to earn that. And they're looking better. They're looking better. Andrew McDonald says, Adam, what are your thoughts on the Carlos setback? From everything I've heard, it is an actual setback, and they weren't lying about it. But I think a conversation needs to be had about how they handle injuries. I'm ready to have that conversation. Oh, it is an unprotected first. Oh, that would suck for Florida. Listen, the Leafs cannot, under any circumstances, allow the Boston Bruins to get a top 5. Well, they can't get the top 5 pick because it's protected. They can't let them get a top 10 pick. The Leafs need to make the playoffs in convincing fashion. If they play like this, like they did tonight, dude, that was potentially, other than, I guess, the Senators game, that was one of their most complete games I've seen them play. And listen, I know Florida's got injuries, but whatever, man. The game's on the schedule. Play. It's beautiful. Beautiful. Beautiful thing tonight. You can feel good, Leafs fans. Just about everything went right. And goals from Joshua, Waugh, and Lawton. Yes, Tavares scored in the empty net, but let's be honest here. Joshua, Waugh, Lawton. That's like, and let me say this too. Big shout outs to Bobby McMahon, who made the Joshua goal happen. Big shout out to Nick Robertson, who out-muscled Gus Forsling, got the puck to Lorentz, who got it to Lawton, who scored. It's a really, really good play from the bottom 6 tonight. I would be shocked if Berube made any changes to it. Leave the lineup as it is. Leave it alone. It's good. It's good. Rennie says, get better, Adam. Good night. Guys, wish me luck, because if I'm not better, I got 3 podcasts to do tomorrow. The SDP, got some VIP to do, and then I got to record with Tim Haraney, who is in Abu Dhabi for the final round of the Formula One calendar. Got a 3-car race for number 1. Lando Norris, Oscar Piastri, Max Verstappen, and Tim's going to see it live. So we're going to see you there. We're going to see you there. And by the way, Troy Stetcher, I think, has 4 or 5 points in the last 3 games. Shout out to him, too. So, guys, I love you. Thanks for joining me for the stream. I won't be with you, unfortunately, on Thursday. I'm going to be down in Kitchener with Rick Westhead, doing a chat at the Kitchener Public Library about Rick's book, We Breed Lions, which, by the way, is a phenomenal read. Phenomenal. So we're going to be talking to Rick on Thursday night. Otherwise, I would have been hanging out with you. Enjoy the stream with Steve on Saturday, and Steve Dangle podcast tomorrow, LFR tonight, and the Leafs win, baby. Let's go. Big shout out to Justin Fisher and Maddie for producing the streams and doing the moderation in the chats. We'll see you. We'll see you on one of these streams next week.